everybody, welcome. We're going to kick it off with a few coaching sessions here. As we got a lot of requests from Dylan, and I want to make sure that we get these in before I patch. So the patch released today, but I haven't patched my client. So if I patch the client, I'll lose access to these replays. So we're going to go ahead and just finish these up. So we have 4 replays here that we're going to start off with on the stream, and then we'll jump over to playing the games. So if you're watching the replay of this, I will put some timestamps in the description. So if you just want to watch the live games, you can go live. But if you want to hang out and help us work through some replays here real quick, then you can do that as well. And I figured I might as well just do it on stream. I'm here anyways. It's close to time, so might as well double up on the content while we can. But that's what's on the agenda here. And then we'll see what we play. It'll probably be, Rakan, but Lulu did get some nice buffs, so there's a chance we could see some Lulu. And I may want to try out Sona. I know Sona's been winning a lot. We'll see. I'm still a little iffy about kind of the squishy supports, but we'll see what the team comps go with. But I do think that there's a chance she might be a bit stronger on this patch as well. I know she gained a lot of traction last patch, but anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some of these. And so I'll be recording these separately as well. So you'll hear me streaming, but it's I'm talking to the people that are just watching the videos on the side as well as the people who are on stream. So that's why you might hear some weird, almost sounds like repetitions, like, hey, welcome to the video in the middle of the stream. It's because that's what I'm doing. Okay. Get rid of top chat too. Live chat, there we go. Oops. I gotta send out we'll do it after this game, a message on YouTube as well that we're live, just in case for some reason it shows people that. Okay, so what are we doing in this game? Okay, Rumble top. Alright, getting a little bit of a different look here. Hey, nice, we got a poet there. What's up, Vanikin? Everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're going to be doing another coaching session for Dylan. So, as always, special thanks to Dylan for sponsoring a lot of these recent coaching sessions. I really appreciate it. Anyone else that would like to sponsor a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. Happy to set that up for you. Or you can come by the stream. We stream every night, usually starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Often going till about 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, very friendly, chill community. We'd love to have you. I'm streaming right now, in fact, so you might hear me talking to the stream while we're working our way through this. And it's just $25 if you're not a channel member, $20 if you are a channel member, and hopefully I can give some good advice. And your money also helps fund education in America, because I am an English instructor at a major American university, and this helps subsidize some of the money they don't pay me. So, works out hopefully really well for everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So, as always, if I'm not talking about support, I like to throw in the disclaimer that I'm not a top lane main, I'm not a Rumble main. I'm a support main, capped out at D3 last season, so I'm going to be focusing more on fight selection and macro decisions rather than sort of the minutia of individual mechanics sort of in the gameplay. So I'll talk about what I can, where I can, but I'm not like a Challenger Rumble player or anything like that. So just clearing that up at the start for anyone that might be watching. Okay, yeah, I like this. Let her push into you a little bit. Udyr is going to be pathing top. I would have... it was pushing. I would have just let it push. I would have... I don't know. The thought on this... Now, I have actually played a Rumble a ton in the past. Just not recently. But I would have maybe started harpoons against her just so you don't push the wave. And just try to zone and harass her with the harpoons. Just because since Udyr's going to be pathing top, he started bottom. You know, he could probably be up here around... like 3:30 or something. So now he is ganking bottom, but I would have preferred just to see you try to freeze it outside your lane, because you're very vulnerable to a Nunu gank as well, which he could be there right now, so I would be really careful. It is pushing against you, but around the 3-minute marks when you really have to start being careful, because the Scuttle's going to spawn at 3:15, and so much of top lane is just managing ganks. Usually that's the most contested Scuttle, is top lane Scuttle, and Nunu clears so fast that he's usually there in plenty of time to gank you before Scuttle spawns if he wants to, so...
First blood.
Yeah, here he comes. I saw the snowball right there, just barely on your ward. So he's opting to do the Scuttle first, but he's especially dangerous if he ganks you after Scuttle, because he gets that movement speed burst at the start of the snowball, and he gets to keep it for the entire snowball. So I think this is way too dangerous to be up that far. Oh, she missed the stun, which is good. You're probably gonna have to pull your flash though. Yeah. So I would have backed up, and a lot of that just came down to, I just do not think you can push against Nunu jungle like that. So now if she wants, she can get a freeze right here on you, and you're not gonna have your flash. So it's gonna make it really dangerous to gank this early, or to come up and farm this. Now it'll eventually push back out. Fortunately, Poppy's not saving that freeze. I think this is silver. If this was like, you know, Diamond Plus, you'd probably never see another minion for the next 5 minutes till your flash is back up, or until you have Udyr come up and help you break the freeze. But Poppy's just choosing to give this to you. So I would let this freeze, let it stack up. Yeah, and I would try to get it frozen right here. Now, if Poppy would have hit that stun into that wall, you were probably dead right there. But yeah, a huge part of top lane, it depends on the matchup, but a lot of it, this is the lane that you want to freeze in a lot of the time, and try to manage it outside your tower, because it's a very long lane, and it's usually the easiest lane to gank. It's probably the least rewarding lane to gank, because you're so far away from Dragon early on, and Rift Herald doesn't spawn early on. But it's often the easiest because there's only one ward, and it's such a long lane that it's really hard for people to run away from the ganks. I think you're pushing it too much. Now you started a slow push towards them. I would not have autoed it that much. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. I agree, Tommy. That's why I try to help. That's why I think that I can still be very helpful in a lot of these videos, hopefully, even though I'm not like a Rumble Grandmaster or something, because so much of it is managing waves, fight selection, macro type of stuff, right? It's like, you don't need a Harvard chemistry teacher to come in and teach your high school chemistry class, right? You just need someone who can inspire you and, just get you to learn the periodic table and, that kind of stuff. Just some, just some standard stuff. There's some, I don't know, some fundamentals. That's what we'll call it. Some fundamental stuff. Just explaining it with good examples. Okay. You could be on wards. I mean, they did ping you. Obviously, you don't know they pinged you, but this is a little dangerous because mid lane could, like, in theory, ward this pixel bush. This is a really popular place to ward. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Tommy. It's tricky. Huh. That's the danger of trying to do it without smite. I do like that you're trying to control it, but the thing is, Rumble doesn't, now it is slow pushing back towards you, so that's good. So you have a big wave buildup. If you can zone her here, you might be able to make her pay for that. Do you have wards? No. Yeah, you had a perfect... It was going to push out towards you, and you could have frozen her out over here. And then Rumble's a great person to freeze, too, if you can get it, because if they overextend versus you can kill them a lot as Rumble. Yeah, I probably would have kept running instead of turning on that. But yeah, the way you can tell that it's going to freeze, like now it's bad because you like partially pushed it, so now it's going to crash into them, is you just count how many minions are pushing into their minions. And if you're like, if they're like +2 or something like that, then it's going to push towards you. And especially if it's on their side of the lane, since their minions arrive first, they start hitting first. So oftentimes, if they have more minions and it's on their side, then it's going to slowly build up into a push that's going to crash into your tower. Now, in higher elos, that can be a little more dangerous to let that build up like that, because then when it's about to hit the tower, if they communicate that to their jungler, then their jungler can come up and dive you when it's crashing. And that way it makes it really difficult for you to survive that dive. And if you die, you're going to lose like a billion CS at the tower. They're going to get plates, all that stuff. So that can be really bad if you let it slow push up to a crash on you. But that can also allow you to sort of fix the wave and freeze it outside the tower if you want. Hey, what's up, Jason? Yeah, it'll be just a little bit, like I was explaining at the start of the stream, but I definitely do want to grab some games with you here in a second. Okay, let me look at this. Okay. Little dangerous. Okay, y'all got it, but Morg, nah. Poppy's really tanky right now. Yeah, and Morgana's gonna be here too, right? Yeah. See that, so you have to watch the priority in the lane before you try to go do anything like this. You have to have eyes on where are the laners, right? So Morgana has Fizz pushed in right now, and Fizz has a really hard time clearing waves early, and Morgana can do it very easily. So that's why I would just take this Rift and run, and then just like use it top and just get a couple of plates. Because right now, that's why Morgana gets here first. It's because she had priority in the wave. And so, before you try to fight, you always gotta look and see. If for some reason Fizz had her pushed in a tower, if by some miracle that happened, then maybe you could chase into the jungle, but hey, it's all good, Dylan. This is just your the first video. I wanted to go ahead and get started and finish these because obviously I overslept yesterday, which sucks, so sorry about that. But I have to do these before I patch, because if I patch the client, a new patch just came out today. If I patch, I can't access the replays, and obviously that would suck. So I want to make sure that I get these replays in before the patch. So yeah, I'll get you here in maybe like an hour or something, Jason. I hope. Hour, maybe an hour and a half, we get some games, but yeah, I gotta get these done before I open the client and start a patch. So we're gonna be doing a coaching extravaganza for about an hour and a half or so here, and then we'll see how long the games are. But then yeah, we'll definitely should get a few games if you still have some time left. Yeah, sorry about oversleeping yesterday too, to Dylan and Jason for different reasons, but and everyone else who enjoys the stream. But I'm just trying to do too much this week. Just student conferences and everything else going on. Okay. Okay, so you're going for the... I don't know. I'd have to look at win rates on this. So you're going for like the... whatever, the damage over time with the true damage in it. Guess that's pretty good. I mean, I tend to think that Night Harvester's better, but against a tank, maybe this is better. I just think that it's just really bad for light trades. Like, you have to really take extended fights, which he is good at, but... I would have probably taken Doran's ring, I think, too, right? because you don't get any mana. Yeah, I would have opened Doran's Ring. Or not Doran, the one that's just health and AP. I forgot what it's called. The thing that builds into Mage Eyes. Like I said, I'm not super privy to the current Rumble builds, but I would have probably gone Night Harvester into something like Void Staff against Poppy. Or I'm just trying to think if there's a different like AP option. Maybe Proto Belt. Proto Belt's probably not terrible. Okay, you got him. Ooh, that was close. Nice. You're crashing in a tower. Oh, did you email? Were you trying to get me on early? Yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, I could see an argument for Proto Belt if you really think you can get her, but I still feel like Night Harvester is just better. Yeah, Poppy is going to be tanky. Rumble is going to be tanky, but like everyone else is pretty squishy. And you get a lot of really good hits in team fights. I'm just not sure if fights are going to go much longer than like 5 seconds, you know, that it takes to stack that up. I feel like that item's a little underwhelming. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that... So you got Ludens, which is a no. Everfrost gives mana, which is bad. Costs a lot. You know, if that didn't give mana, the freeze is actually very interesting because that could hold him still in your ult. I haven't seen Rumbles doing that, and it's probably because the mana feels like a huge waste, but I'd be very interested to see if a build like that would work, even though you know, again, you are wasting gold on the mana. Just having that piece of CC to just hold him still in your ultimate, and for like a full flamethrower proc, sounds very intriguing to me. Because if they sit in your ult and they like eat a full empowered flamethrower, it's nuts. Now, Rumble just got buffed a couple of patches ago, so I'm not sure the exact trading patterns, but ideally you want to have your flamethrower going and hit your ultimate and then start auto-attacking him. So I think he's supposed to be built around like really leveraging his overheating. So I don't think you have to change your items to anything special for that, but Leandries. What? Blanket out Leandries. 100%. I'm pretty sure you want to go Leandries on him, right? Because that gives you a lot of extra spell pen. Isn't it like 15% extra spell pen? And it has like a huge burn? Yeah, Leandries. I don't know. Like, so Night Harvester may be an option against like squishies, but I think Leandries is still just like extremely powerful on him. Because like your flames and your ultimate keep reapplying the dot. So yeah, I think Leandries is way better. For some reason I was forgetting the most iconic item. Now, they're doing Rift right now, you can see that. Morg's on this, they might come up and gank you after that. You are doing great on CS, so you're smashing this Poppy on CS. Even though there definitely are some ways you could optimize, you know, the wave management that we talked about earlier, you are, you know, crushing them on CS, which is good. I would have maybe dropped that a bit earlier. Yeah, there you go. Just try to run out of there. Again, you got to kind of look at the numbers here because, like, you see that Udyr is nowhere close to that, right? Leandries is mana? Is it? But yeah, I don't think you can fight this because, like, you know their jungler is going to be at the Rift. You know Udir's not there. And you know it's Nunu. So, Nunu with Smite and no jungler near means there's about a 0% chance. There's about a 0% chance that, oh yeah, Leandri, yeah, Leandri's does have mana on it. So that is a concern, but I thought it still had the spell pin. I don't know, I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look and see. Maybe it isn't just Night Harvester then. So yeah, I mean, so basically there's no way that you can get that. And it's an extremely high probability that it's going to be a 3v2. So, and, you know, Poppy's got a lot of magic resist, and it's you and Fizz against like 2 tanks. So that's probably not going to work out. Oh, yeah, the passive. I meant the stacking buff. Like when they're like burning after 3 seconds, they take 5% stacking extra damage or something. I don't know. We can look at it after this. We can look at some win rates or something on Rumbles. But anyways, that's another one where you just kind of have to pay attention to the state of the lane and just kind of look at your minimap and decide, is there any way that like you guys can actually fight this? And I think the answer was no. If Udyr was in the area, sure, you can probably take a look at it. It's still going to be hard to take it off of Nunu, but at least you could maybe fight him afterwards. But since Udyr wasn't even in the same zip code, I just don't think there's any way you can win that. Unless like your bottom lane has teleport or, you know, something very unusual was going on, which is none of that's happening in this game. Okay, you do have teleport. So pay attention to bottom. If a fight breaks out, you'd probably just want to teleport onto this ward if a fight did break out there. You don't want to go in. It depends, but Rumble's not the best flanker in the world. He's okay, but you don't want to get turned around. Yeah, it is a percentage HP burn. I thought it had 2 passives on it. One is the percentage burn, and then the other one is it shreds magic resist. Stacking magic resist. I could be wrong about that, but I thought it was percentage health and stacking percentage magic resist shred. But maybe they changed it. I know, well, yeah, I would rotate down into this. You're down a person, probably. Is Cassia? Yeah, Cassia's there. I don't think I'd go into that. The fight's already over. Yeah, I think you either rotate early or never. And okay, it turned out Teemo was not there, but so like right here, I'd be watching this. As soon as you see a lot of people congregating in one area on the map, have an eye there. I would have been rotating. Like as soon as you saw them fighting, because your ult has such a long range, like you could have just rotated to like right here and just dropped an ultimate right on top, like right here. You could probably be there like right now and just throw your ult in there from a distance, and that would have probably turned the fight around. Maybe, I don't know. They have a lot of health, but that may have deterred them from chasing. But either way, at this point, I think it's too far, and I think you got a little too close with that. I'm pretty sure the ult's like really far, right? Okay, yeah, maybe they did change Leandri's. I'll have to look at it and see. I just feel like Riftmaker, I don't know, maybe it has an okay win rate. It just seems a little underwhelming to me. Like, it could be good for really long fights, but... Okay. Push. Beware, though. You know, you're definitely going to be a target up here, because if they gank and kill you, then that Baron could be on the table. So... I think this is dangerous. You do have Udyr, who's starting to get into position to help you out, but like if Nunu blast plants over this and like snowballs on top of you, you're 100% dead right now. Now he is bottom, so we do see that. I would definitely go Void Staff next. Or Death Cap, but... Yeah, I think, my first instinct was Harvester. Because it's so easy for you to proc it on everyone in a fight, because you have so much AoE. But yeah, maybe like one-on-one against Poppy, it's not going to be as good as what you have if you get like a 20-second, if Poppy just opts into like a 20-second fight with you. But I feel like she can just probably get away most of the time. And I feel like you just... I don't know that you even really want to fight her one-on-one that much. In the mid to late game, I would just push her in and then go do something else on the map. Like, yeah, come over here, farm these golems, or like rotate, get a good back timing, so you can, you know, roll up to an objective faster, something like that. So I would just play the wave clear game with her and not optimize your build for to be able to 1v1 her. At the expense of like better team fight options. I just don't think this is like a Trendamere type of situation, right? Where you should be just like AFK splitting against her. Okay, nice. Yeah, if you're gonna play Rumble, you gotta work on that ult placement a little bit. I would have waited until Udyr was there to slow her down, right? Because if you wait until Udyr's there and he stuns her, then you drop the ult on top of her, it's a lot more deadly. So yeah, with the ult, ideally you wait until you've already hit them with a couple of harpoons so they can't really run away. Or until one of your allies hits them with stuff. Okay, Dragon's coming up. I would probably just go ahead and back. I would just back, because now, like, you do have teleport, but the problem is you're going to be rolling up, like, half health. I think that's greedy. I would have just backed. As soon as Dragon was coming up and your team might fight, I would have just backed so that you're healthy and ready to teleport. Yeah. Like right here, if you could have just teleported on this wave and ulted in there. I guess you didn't have your ult because you used it in the previous fight, so that is definitely worth considering. Oh, TP, right here, right here, right here. Oh, I think there's definitely an opportunity. How far were you from getting back there? It's tragic. Now, should they be fighting this? No, not without you, but yeah, right here I would have TP'd in. The second that you hit that fountain, I would go ahead and start your TP. Then you can heal up while you're TPing, and you can buy, you know, your item while you're TPing. But yeah, especially when they're like trying to hard dive there. I don't know that it would have made a huge difference, but I think if you TP'd earlier, then whoa, why? Were you just doing that to clear the wave or something? You gotta hold on to that ult, man. It's like, it's a really big cooldown. I guess you're trying to save the tower, but like they're already running away. One tip I will give you, I'm not sure if your ults are off a little bit because you're smart casting them. I would take smart casting off of Rumble and just manually draw the lines. Rumble's a very unique and kind of weird champion. He's like one of the only champions I recommend not having smart cast on one of his abilities. Or whatever they call quick cast, as they call it these days. I guess They changed the names. They didn't want people to feel dumb if they weren't using SmartCast, but yeah, like right here, if you just ulted behind him right there, that would have been huge. So yeah, I think you definitely got to work on the ult selection here and just wait until people are CC'd, or ideally until a team fight. Because let's be real, you're probably not killing Poppy one-on-one, even with ult. She's just going to get away. She has a lot of magic resist. She's really fast. She has her ult to knock you back if she really needs to. Yeah. But I wouldn't have, even if it was a picture perfect ultimate right there, I still wouldn't have done it. I would have just held it for a team fight. Because, yeah, I mean, if you just, like, draw it right behind them, like, on top of people, but behind them, and you cut off their escape, and, like, Zyra gets to ult, like, if you chain that together with the rest of your CC in a team fight, like, you guys have a pretty beast fight. Okay, this is bad. They're probably going to kill them and get Baron. Yeah, well... Okay, he barely made it. Okay, yeah, I would just keep pushing this one. They kind of already lost, and you can't keep... No, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. This is one where I would keep pushing. I guess you are low. How'd you get low? But you know, like, this is another major fight where you're not there, though. You know what I mean? Like, this has been, like, 3 or 4 fights that they've had where you're not there. And yeah, it's Yasuo's fault for running up in their jungle and fighting, so this one's a little bit more difficult, but I would keep pushing this into their tower. The reason is they're like, you can't win this fight anyways. Most likely they're gonna get this tower anyways. And if you push, at least maybe they don't get Baron. Like, you could have been on their tower and then backed. And then maybe someone decides to catch this wave instead of do Baron after that kill. Is it that low? I don't think it's 45 seconds. It's a kind of low ult, but there have been several of these fights where... Okay, alright, that was good. You cut off her retreat with it while she had tower aggro. So that was nice. Fortunately, they didn't do... Baron. I think they definitely could have after they killed all 4 of you, or 4 of you right here, but they chose to, you know, ARAM instead. Now they're probably on it right now. You don't have any wards. I don't even know if I would mess with this. I'd probably just give it to them. I guess you can poke. They don't really have that much threat to jump over the wall at you, but yeah, I mean, there is Poppy. Okay, well, they did end up getting it anyways. Morgana just YOLO Q. Okay. Well. God, does he get away with that? There you go. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Good team fight. Everyone's grouped up. You got a nice ult in there. Totally turned that fight around. Fizz is starting to come online too, which is good. Demonic Embrace, yeah, that's a solid one. I mean, Poppy has healing, I guess, or Nunu has some healing, I guess. I'd probably just Void Staff instead of Morello's here. Like, the spell pen is so nice on Rumble because, well, several reasons. Number one, your Demonic Embrace is doing extra damage, and then your Rift Maker is doing some extra damage. Now, that does become true damage at a certain point, but Rumble's base damages are so high off of his ult and his flamethrower that he gets a lot of value out of spell pen. And Poppy and Nunu just have a lot of magic resist, too. Especially Poppy, so... Spell Pen's particularly good. Well, let me see this again. Particularly good on champions who have really high, like, base damages like Rumble. Nice, there you go. See, cutting off her escape again. So you're not only getting damage out of it, like you're getting really good sort of positional steering. So she can't get away, and that allows you to like stick your flamethrower on her too for the full duration. So, I mean, a lot of Rumble's power is obviously wanting them to stay in your various dots and just being able to spam your spells. So much of it is just trying to control their positioning so that they sit in all your fire. Rumble's a really cool champion design. I wish they made another Heat champion that sort of promoted you to spam spells, but it had, like, some serious trade-offs. That's what I love about him is it's like you can kind of spam your spells, but it may not be a good idea. It's like it's got a min-max feel to it, and Riot kind of went away from that philosophy. They just, you know, wanted it to be more clear what you're supposed to do most of the time on a lot of champs, but as far as like your resources go, I don't know. I really like the Heat system. I think they could have made another sort of robotic champion that had that. That'd be really fun, but they have not done it in the last 10 years, so. Oh, where? Wait, where did you go? I'm sitting down here watching this fight. Oh, you got knocked. Oh, you got knocked way over here. Okay. Yeah, I would keep running down. Keep going down. Don't worry about the ward. It's a team fight. No, don't worry about the wards, man. You get the wards later. This fight's definitely still very real. Like, your team's in it. I 100% would have foregone the wards. I mean, as a support, I can respect it, wanting to clear vision, but I know your thought process might be, well, the fight's going to be dead by the time you get there, but, you know, just check out the minimap. Just look at it and just see that, like, hey, this is probably still going on for a little while. I would have... That's a pretty big deal. I think you definitely could have turned that around if you showed up to that. Oh. Wait, how? How did you lose that thing? Yeah, you don't need to get that close. Your auto attacks really don't even hurt that much. That's one thing, like, Rumble's flamethrower actually has pretty good range. It's like 600 range. So you don't need to get in that close. Just, like, have him sit in your flamethrower and just kite him with your harpoons. You have pretty low cooldowns on your abilities, too. So unless you're overheated, I would not go up in auto. Just, like, max range, just flame, and just, harpoon him to death. That also doesn't let him chomp you, right? So he can chomp you to heal. Now, yes, he can still chomp the dragon there, but if he uses his chomp early on the dragon, there's a higher chance that he might not be able to chomp and smite it. So if he wants to chomp, make him use it on the dragon. Don't let him use it on you. You walked into Sunfire range. That's what killed you, I think, was you were auto-attacking, which you were taking Thornmail damage for doing that, and you were also opting into the Sunfire range. And he gets to auto you back, and he gets to chomp you potentially if he wants to, so you just had all of these dots going off on you at the same time. So yeah, just try to... A lot of times that's deceptively Rumble feels like he's melee, but a lot of times you really don't want to be melee with him unless you're overheated and you're just trying to finish somebody off. They're trying to promote that style of play more with the changes to overheat, but I still think most of the time you just want to like hang out around that 600 range while you're burning them and just like have them eat harpoons and just wait on your cooldowns and just kind of like hover around within your spell range, but don't actually trade autos with them. Like I said, unless you're like pretty certain you're gonna kill them and you're overheated, but most of the time, instead of thinking of him as kind of like a melee champ, like a Diana type of champ, think of him as just like a super short range, like Oriana or something like that, or Syndra, just like a really short range, you know, control mage. He's just trying to hang out on the edge of his zones. Okay, you don't have teleport. Okay, I'm gonna roll up and ult this. Oh. Nice, there you go. Well, sort of. Okay, how much notice did you have on this again? Okay, so again, you see them congregating, like, you kind of know this fight's gonna break out, right? So you should already be running. Okay. That wasn't too late. You probably could have been there a few seconds faster. And then just ult, like, draw it right there. And, again, I think you're too close. I think if they just ulted there and you just hung out... If you just ulted right here, and you just hang out right here, just flamethrower, max range, harpoon a couple of times, back up, and just wait on your flamethrower cooldown. I think that's probably better. Even with the overheated like auto attacks, I feel like that's really kind of a bait. Rumble's ult has to be did they nerf the range on it? I thought it was like 1100 range. Because it feels like you're casting his ult at like 500 range or something. So like, I mean, it's been a long time since I've played Rumble, but I feel like you should have been able to cast his ult from, like, here. You should be able to start the tip right here and draw it. So remember, maybe what you're doing is you're trying to get the whole thing in the circle where his cast range is. Remember that you just have to start the tip of it in the circle. You don't have to draw the entire thing in the circle, if that's what's going on. I'm not sure if that's what's happening. But, like, if you're right here and his engaged circle is, like, you know, 1100 or something, you just have to start the tip right here, and then you can extend it further than that. But it feels like there should be a bit more range, because that ult is historically like pretty far. I think they did nerf the range at one point. I mean, you used to like almost literally be able to throw it from like halfway through the river into mid lane. Oh, people asking about Tarik. Tarik got a buff this patch, so it should be live right now. That should help out with his mana costs a little bit, so he might be better than it seems. We'll have to see, but he's still a peeler tank, and I think that has a lot of problems itemization-wise, but maybe. Yeah, I think Rumble's a very unique. You're playing a lot of very unique champions, which is fun. But these champs all need a lot of practice because, like the Yasuo, the Akali, and Rumble, because they all have a very different play style. You know, from any other champs out there, really. Like you've got the heat system with Rumble and the draw. Not many champions had that draw mechanic. I guess Victor does. There are a couple, but sorry, let me see where did you TP? So you should TP to a safe spot where you like, I don't know, I don't think you can TP to blue wards. Yeah, you're too close. You're way too close in those fights. You guys work on that range with Rumble. Just use your spells and just float in and out. And that's a huge thing to work on. Tarik is good. It's possible he's better after this patch, but I think he's very specific in my mind. You really need a certain kind of comp and a certain level of coordination. Yeah, so with Rumble, you know, again, I don't think that you want to try to flank with him on a TP because he's pretty squishy. I mean, he's not as squishy as some of the other mages, but just TP kind of safely around your team when you TP. Like, I was looking for wards, you know, kind of around the perimeter. You just want to TP in and then, you know, drop your ult and then walk in with your team with your flamethrower. Instead of trying to flank, because they'll probably just turn around and kill you if you go for hard flanks most of the time. Because you don't need to flank to get access to the back line, right? Like Hecarim or all that. Because you have like such long range, and you can just drop your ult on the back line if you want to. But yeah, the main job of the ult in a lot of team fights is to drop it, put the damage on squishy champions on that back line, and cut off their retreat as you're running up with your flamethrower and as your team is engaging. So like right there, instead of dropping it like that, if you drop it like this way, it would cut off that retreat a lot better. Okay, so biggest things to work on with Rumble that we hit on before are proper wave management early on. You want to try, with a lot of top laners, especially early on, you want to try to freeze outside your tower. So if they are willing to push into you, then try to freeze outside your tower, and that'll keep you safe from that like 3-minute gank. Usually a lot of enemy junglers are either going to gank you before or after Scuttle. Scuttle spawns at 3:15. So, especially if your jungler is not in the area. Now, an alternate strategy is if you know your jungler is going to be there and you want to fight for that Scuttle, then you can push into them and then go fight for the Scuttle with your jungler. But if you're not sure, if you don't know the jungler, and especially at lower sort of elo brackets, then I would probably just try to play safe at the top. Especially when Udyr like opted to go bottom. He was kind of committing to the bottom Scuttle when he ganked bottom. So, and the thing is, like Rumble, you can change your pace really quickly, right? With your wave management, because you can clear super fast. So you can just let them push into you, kind of see what your jungler does. And if you decide, hey, I do want to contest the Scuttle, then you can flip the switch and just start hard pushing it and probably get it in, you know, in a wave or two if you just like spam your flamethrower and all your spells on the wave. So you can, you should have pretty good control over the wave as Rumble. So that was a huge thing, is to either try to defensively freeze it outside your tower or build up a slow push and have that timing try to coincide with a major objective. So try to get the Poppy in the tower right when the Scuttle's going to spawn, or right when you want to take a back timing, or when you want to try to roam mid or contest Rift or whatever. Just use the wave to kind of help you put Poppy in a bad position, right? Where she's either losing CS and experience at the tower if she wants to come contest you, or she doesn't contest you and you get the objective for a push. Or you make her walk up, if you want to go for a freeze, you make her walk up and you know, expose herself to a gank in order to try to get some CS, and then you should be trying to harass her and zone her off with your harpoons and just kind of max range flamethrowers and things like that. Okay, so just kind of wave management. I have several whole videos about that. If you just search on the channel wave management, there's more on that also. But that's top lane is where it matters the most because you know, you're so prone to ganks. It's a long lane, and that's one of the biggest forms of skill expression in top lane is wave management, more so than any other lane, I think. And then it is important in other lanes too, but that's the big one. And then the other stuff that we just talked about, and that does kind of get into some of the mechanics, is just thinking about, you know, how you're using that ultimate and just staying max range and casting those spells the vast majority of the time. Just don't get baited into the auto attacks. It's not worth it on Rumble most of the time, especially in team fights. And then trying to show up to more fights more often. So just pushing the wave and just looking at the minimap and just saying, they're probably going to fight, you know, and then just rolling up as soon as you think that a fight's going to happen, trying to get there faster. And if you do TP to the fight, then try to TP, you know, a little bit behind your team if you can, and then roll up and drop your ult that way to turn the fight around. You can flank. It sort of depends, but again, if you're going to do that, you still need to be trying to float sort of at the edge of your spell range and use your spells. Night pop popping off. Yeah, I don't know why all that stuff coincided there. But yeah, it's definitely giving you some information about those crispy, fresh 11.2 patch notes that I need to update. But anyways, okay, well that's going to be it for the Rumble game, so thank you very much. Rumble, he is a cool champion. Definitely want to practice him a little bit if you want to take him into the, you know, into the big leagues. But I think that, you know, you definitely have some good stuff to work on there. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Okay, let's get into the next coaching session here. Okay, so Rumble down. We'll see if we can go through the next ones a little bit faster. We'll see how long the games are. I ended up replaying a bunch of those. And like I said, I have had experience on Rumble a lot in the past. Like, I played like almost 700 games with him in Season 2. I was basically a one-trick Rumble in Season 1 and Season 2. That was a long time ago, but, you know, a lot of the mechanics are very similar. Oh, let me, real quickly, before we get into that,
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
oh, okay.
30 seconds until minions.
Oh, let me pause this. Alright, I'm looking at Leandre's over here on the side. Okay, so I didn't notice they changed that, yeah. So now it does a percentage of the target's bonus health, 0 to 12%. What's that based on? So it's like double. So this is based on their max health, and this is based on their bonus health. Oh, based on how much total health they have, or bonus health they have. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's not as good. So yeah, I might just go for the well, let me look real quick just to put a bow on the Rumble conversation. Let's just see what are, you know, a lot of Rumbles doing. Like, what's the high win rate stuff? I feel like Night Harvester then, if they nerfed that so much. The Leandres. Looks like people are playing him a lot more. It's like he was kind of flatline. I guess maybe people played him in Pro or something because people definitely seem to be a lot more interested in him after April 13th. Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge sample size, but yeah, Riftmaker's looking rough. Now, once again, this is kind of a newer patch. Let me look back on this last patch where there's going to be a bit more data. The patch that you played it on here. Yeah, kind of all the items are a little underwhelming on him right now, but I still think Harvester was probably the call. I like the Demonic Embrace, but anyways, we'll move on to the next game here. Not spend too long on that. Alright. Okay, in this game we're back on the Akali. Okay. Everybody, welcome back. Do another coaching session here for Dylan. So as always, special thanks to Dylan for sponsoring this game. Really appreciate it. Wait, what do you mean this is jungle? Oh, was I looking at jungle? Rumble in the... Okay. Anyways, sorry, I am streaming right now, so I'm talking with the chat as well. We stream every night, usually starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, typically going until about 2 or 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very friendly, chill community. So come by, check that out. And if you'd like a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestratchprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind, or stop by the stream. It's just $25 if you're not a channel member. If you are a channel member, then it's just $20. It's basically free membership for that month if you want to do a coaching session. So check that out. Help support education in America. Hopefully I give some good advice. It also helps subsidize what the university doesn't pay me. So that's good. Helps fund what I enjoy doing. Alright. Yeah, so you're just kind of going to get pushed in. There's not a lot you can do early on in this matchup, I don't think. So you're opting for the teleport this time instead of the ignite, which will be interesting. We'll see how this plays out. We discussed this the last Akali video that we looked at, that this is going to give you better map pressure and more CS later on in the game, but you're going to lose that kill pressure early. And just as a disclaimer as well, that I say all the time when I'm not coaching a support game, that I am a support player, capped out at D3 in support. I'm not an Akali player. I'm not a mid player. Dylan knows this. So we're just going to be focusing mostly on fight selection, wave management, macro, kind of these higher order concerns rather than specific... you know, in detail Akali mechanics and item breakpoints and things like that. So we will talk about that some stuff where we see opportunities, right? But that's not going to be sort of my my level of expertise. But this is a silver game, and as I always say, like, you don't need that, like, you don't need challenger level, you know, Akali mechanics. You don't need to discuss challenger level Akali mechanics, I don't think, when you're, you know, coaching a silver game. It's just overkill. It's just better to focus on higher order things, in my opinion. Non-mechanical things that people can do with just strictly, you know, just better game knowledge and decision making. Again, I'm not entirely sold on this. Doran's ring. What about... we talked about this last time. I forgot. The ring that builds into Mage Eyes. That would give you another pot, too. You'd have 3 pots for this tough matchup, or even a refillable. Yeah, I would just go ahead and TP. I would TP back right here. Let's go ahead and use it. You're not going to use it for anything else for the next 5 minutes, probably. And you're losing too much CS. 100%, yeah. And I would have done that faster. Because you lost like 2 or 3 CS there. Maybe, I mean, I guess maybe you're waiting on 10 gold for Amp Tome or something. If that was the case, I guess. And you still have 160 gold. Maybe you're just kind of slow on the decision making there. Okay, so Victor's just walking back, so he is going to have TP advantage on you at level 6. Yeah, since you're not getting a lot of value out of the since you're not getting a lot of value out of the mana, I don't know. I'll have to look and see like what Akalis are starting, but that's what I would probably start as. This does help you last hit minions a little bit if you're auto attacking them, but I think you're last hitting a lot of minions with your Q anyways. So I'm not sure that that's necessarily relevant. Your Nautilus is doing pretty well so far. So you just kind of want to keep tabs, you know, on how your side lanes are doing, and that can sort of help you make some good decisions. Oh, I got you. Okay, so you just kind of... There's just a mechanical thing why you didn't TP as fast. Alright, that makes sense. You just couldn't get the items fast enough and close the shop. Yeah, obviously just work on that, but there's not much to be said there. Okay, so it's slow pushing into you here. Fiddle's probably going to be 6 soon. I think that's a good idea to get those wards early. Now, you don't have control of this lane, so it can be a little dangerous to put your control ward here, because that's a pretty aggressive spot. Yeah, I would not go for that on him. He has a ton of minions there, so it's going to be really hard to hit your E on him through traffic. I mean, I guess you can, but I just feel like there's just way too much, and especially if you don't have Ignite, I just don't think there's any way you have kill pressure. I would have just saved your ult until Warwick comes, or like for a gank or something. Just run, just run, just run. He just died to minions. I maybe would have just run like this way and forced him, if he wanted to chase you, to come back through the tower shots. I don't think he would have done it. He already used his flash. Now that was unfortunate. It would have been cool if Warwick... Whoa, dude, what? Warwick is down 3 levels? What? That's not good. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked D-Blade a little bit more. I don't know if everyone gets that on Akali, but I would have probably liked that a bit more. It just feels like the mana, it just feels bad because you don't get any mana off of Doran's Ring. Like, it doesn't influence, you don't get the benefit of that aspect of the item. Okay, so I would push here and try to go get Dragon, because your team, you gotta kill, okay. So Fiddle was top. If you were going to rotate, I would have rotated bottoms. That's a hot situation. And a lot of times, if people are in the middle of a fight, they're not watching their wards as much. So yeah, I probably would have pushed in and then maybe come down this way. Like, just dipped out. And this is a great way to gank if there's a fight going on. Nice. A couple of cleanup kills. So I would have probably pushed him in and then dipped down south. Come through the back here, flank, get a kill or two, or at least blow flashes, and then get Dragon after that. So you had a rare window where you actually had pressure on him in lane, because Victor kind of greeted out and didn't back fast enough, but he didn't end up paying the price for it. Okay. Well, I mean, if Professor Akali's always saying Doran's Ring, then I guess that's what you can go for. We can look it up after the replay and see sort of what the win rates are, but obviously he plays a lot of Akali. I would look and see what other one tricks do also though, and just kind of see what are the situations. You're gonna die. Yeah, Warwick's just not really committed. I mean, he's down so much, though. It's really hard for him to gank. I don't know what's going on. Like, why he's so far behind. Because he's only got 38 farm. Okay, Fiddle's about to gank this. I would ping him. If you saw that, I would have pinged him back. So even though that's not your lane, it was on a control ward. So just always try to communicate that with your team if you can. I mean, I know you're not going to see everything and always be able to communicate, but... What are you doing? Are you trying to teleport? I wasn't sure why you stopped moving there unless you just lagged a little bit or had to return a text or something, but... But it's definitely going to matter, because now you're a little behind on this push. You could have been here like 5 seconds faster. Of course, I don't know. If Victor's in the lane anyways, you're probably not going to be able to walk up and touch the wave. You're down 2 levels at this point, so...
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Okay, got some kills there, which is good. Alright, Victor's roaming bottom. You need to warn them of that if you can. Try to ping them back. Okay. Okay, so... You're losing 30 health, but isn't it cheaper? Isn't it like 350 gold? Yeah.
Turret plating
So I guess you're paying 50 health.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Or you're paying 50 gold for 30 health. I mean, that is a good bargain. Yes, you don't get the stacks. I guess that's right. Unless you're just really confident that you're going to get a kill or an assist. I don't know. You get an extra potion, though, in a really hard lane. And that potion's worth 150 health. So it's like, yeah, you're losing 30 permanent health. But before your first back, you get 150. So that if that allows you to stay in lane longer to even get like 2 more minions, then it's not worth it anymore. Or like,
Red team's turret has been
then I
destroyed.
think the Magi's or the whatever that ring is, the Dark Seal could be better. Depends on how well you're able to leverage that extra potion that you have early on. Especially in like a hard matchup like this. And this has upside too, right? Like you can actually get stuff on this. You can get some stacks. Versus there's no upside on Doran's Ring. It is what it is. But it does, I mean, it does allow you to last hit better with your auto attack. So there is something to that. I don't know. I feel like it's pretty close. I just think that the extra potion would help a lot in this lane. Because you're probably going to get bullied pretty hard. Do you pretty much always have to take Conquer, or is there any way you could take Fleet? Or is that just kind of a dead build? I know they nerfed Fleet on, like, some of the magic ratios on it. A couple of patches ago. So it's probably bad. I'm just trying to think of, like, sustain options so that you don't get as, like, blasted in this type of matchup early. Because it's getting pretty grim pretty fast here. I mean, you could have even gone refillable if you knew you were going to have to take an early back if you go for the Dark Seal, which that does give you a lot of value, especially when you're just having to chug these potions in like a losing lane this much.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And I don't know your rune situation either, but I would have tried to just do everything I can. Just, you know, almost like the Cassidon special here, you know, just get as much sustain as you can. Maybe even take like a magic resist rune or something, just to try to minimize how much you're going to lose to Victor in lane, because it seems like it's a really hard matchup, especially if you don't have Ignite. Yeah, I just feel like this lane, just because it's so bad, just because you're going to get just destroyed so much in lane, that maybe Fleet's on the table, so I would think about it. I mean, you do get sustain for objective timings, but it's just, I can understand that too, but it's also just so that you just don't fall, you know, 2 levels behind and 50 CS down, right? Yeah, I'd probably try to... can you get Rift?
I know what makes them tick.
We don't know where they are. I don't like this. Okay, Victor's bottom. Okay, they're on Dragon. Okay, I guess you can do it if Victor's bottom. I don't know. It's still kind of sketchy. Alright, just get Rift. You're not going to get Ezreal. Just get Rift. Ping them all to get Rift. Okay, maybe your team can make something out of that? It's 3v2. No, it's 3v3. You guys should go get Rift. You and Nasa should have just gone to go get Rift after you killed him. That was just really weird, like, because we didn't know where Fiddlesticks is, and we didn't know where Victor was. When you chose to take that fight, we didn't have enough information on the map for me to feel comfortable with taking that fight, because like we knew Twitch was bottom, we knew Blitzcrank was just like AFK in the base, and so you know 2 of your people are not gonna be there, like for sure. And like Warwick was also on the bottom side of the map, so if they were all there, that was gonna be a disaster. Fortunately, they weren't, and you ended up getting a kill, but. I mean, maybe if you're really confident that, you know, they're going to be at Dragon. Even still, I'd rather just, if you think they're at Dragon, I would rather just trade Rift. Just run immediately and get Rift instead of chasing a kill through the jungle. Because that dude's probably not even worth that much. Yeah, he's like 1 in 10. So he's probably worth like 50 gold. Okay. Oh. Alright, well, I guess you did get the kill there. Okay. You thought Yone was mid? I would say probably 80-90% of the time if you see that lineup, Yone, Victor, it's going to be Yone top. I think Victor almost never goes top. But, I mean, it's possible. Okay. I just don't like this item very much, Rift Maker, in a lot of situations. I think it takes too long to come online, and I would just want to blow them up. Same thing with Conquer. I mean, they really don't, like, who's their tank? You know what I mean? Like, I'd just rather go for damage. I mean, Fleet for sustain, but if you are looking for a damage item, or like a damage type of build, Electrocute. But I think if you're going Electrocute, you probably need to go Ignite. If you're trying to go for the early kills and Snowball. But I just think Conquer is kind of this like middle ground that I don't know, maybe it's not terrible, it just feels like this is just too much, like you're opting into too much of a really long sustained team fight. And I just don't think that's what the enemy's trying to do. Or your team. I think Victor's going to win those types of fights anyways. I don't think you want to opt into that against Victor. He's going to have too much value out of his ult, his shields, his kiting. I just think you just want to blow him up. So I would rather do Night Harvester here. And then what is this, Rylai's? The thing is with Fiddlesticks too, like I don't know, he needs to die. Like you need to hunt him down and kill him quick. And with Yone, like all of these champs, I just want them dead. Like, they have, like, no tanks on their team. And, you know, several of them are kind of spooky if they get to stick around too long in a fight. And that kind of fits the theme of Blitz, too, right? If Blitz lands a hook, you want to be able to delete somebody before they, you know, wake up out of the CC. Okay, what's... And Dragon's about to be up. Okay, they're chasing you. However, Baron is already up. So yeah, okay, I like it. If Victor's overextended, if you can get him, everybody's blowing all their flashes. Alright. Wait, how? Did he run into the ult? Okay, Ezreal's bottom. You don't have priority mid, though. Oh, Demonic Embrace. Again, I mean, I just don't like that when they don't have tanks. I mean, maybe you're just trying to build out, I suppose, but... I mean, if they had, like... Leona, Nunu, Ornn, or something like that on their team, okay. But I just... I just feel like that's not what's going on here. It seems like a really bad fight. Yeah, I would just get out of that. You got to give him Dragon. Gnosis is top. You know, Twitch just kind of entered right there. Okay, I got you. No, obviously, yeah, you recorded all these before we did any of the coaching sessions. So, yeah, some of the stuff that we discussed in the earlier sessions, you know, you obviously would not have been able to apply to this. Okay. Yeah, testing is fine. I just, you know, this would not be an ideal circumstance where you would try to do this in a game you're really trying to win. I just think in general, on most Assassins, just because you're so snowball dependent most of the time, like you really just want to close the game out, you know, have good target selection and delete somebody. I think that a lot of the cute builds that you see out there on Assassins, you know, like Akali sometimes, or Kha'Zix, or, you know, stuff like that, when people go things like these Conquer, sustained damage types of builds, I think they're a lot more situational, and they're not what you would want to default to most of the time. It's sort of like a necessary concession for the team comp. But it's not like an optimal situation. Basically, it feels a lot of times when people are doing that they're forcing the pick because they're a one trick, even though it's not a good pick into the matchup, and they're just forcing it, and they just want to try to be as useful as possible. So they're going into a hell of a lot of tanks with Kha'Zix or Akali or, you know, whatever assassin, and, you know, in an ideal world they would pick something different, but the fact that they're already committed to one-tricking that champion, they're just saying, F it, I'm just going to try to make this work, and so I'm going to do this suboptimal build that's a little bit better against tanks. I feel like that's typically how that works, although, you know, I could definitely be wrong about that. Whoa. I think that was a bit optimistic. That was way ahead of your team. You got kind of some Lee syndrome there. Yeah, that was rough. Now they're gonna be able to push you in. Okay, Victor's bottom, thank God. So that his poor macro is. I mean, he does have teleport, I guess. Okay, maybe it's not so bad because for them because he does have teleport, but they should be pressuring Baron. As soon as you do that and they push the wave up, they should be like locking out all your vision at Baron. But they're just kind of giving you a free pass right now, macro-wise. But they should have just cleaned all your vision and just set up and baited you guys into checking Baron. And then that probably would have led to a really good Fiddlesticks ult. They kill 2 or 3 of you and then get the Baron. But fortunately, they're not really punishing you for that. They're just letting you reset for free. So that's good. But, you know, don't mistake it. That was a pretty large error that you got away with right there in the mid game. So yeah, you just want to be careful with the target selection there. You want to make sure that your team's actually going to be able to follow up. And as we talked about last time, I think that you played Akali. I would really play her more to like flank or get cleanup kills. Like I would not try to frontline with her, even with this. Yeah. Even with this kind of like bruiser. But it's not even really bruisery. That's the thing. Is like you're still squishy. You're still gonna get blown up. You just do more sustained damage to tanks with this build. But like, they can still just delete you, right? Like Victor can just like roll his hand across the keyboard and you disappear. And that's another reason I'm not like too fond of this build. Is it's like it doesn't help with your survivability and your damage is down for like the first 5 seconds of the fight or more, right? While you're ramping up. So. This requires really long fights and really careful, continuous, you know, repositioning so that you can, you know, maintain good DPS uptime without getting deleted. I think it's a lot harder to play this type of build. Okay. I mean, Twitch is kind of YOLOing, but I would be in the area. This is what we talked about in the last video. Is like. Like, it is kind of dumb that Twitch is there, but I would still just, like, be around, just in case. Because, like, this is pretty close, you know? Sort of. I think if you were there, especially with your ult, you could have cleaned up a couple of these for sure, instead of just getting the wave. So I think there's a time and a place to give up on your team and just go get the wave, but since you were, like, literally right there, I maybe would have just stuck around. And that's one of those where you just kind of have to look at your mini-map and just kind of get a sense of, like, is your team about to fight or not, you know? And if they are, just kind of be in the area, and it doesn't mean you have to go in, you have to commit to it, but just kind of being around and just seeing if you can, you know, scavenge and pick up a couple of kills here in a YOLO situation. I think you're overstaying on this. So the problem is, like, here, if they get you low and back you out, now you've lost priority on Baron, potentially. I don't know. Now you're at half health, though. I just don't think it's worth it to get a couple of extra auto attacks, you know, on the tower in order to take a couple tower shots. Huh. Yeah, I know. It was a dumb fight. I mean, there's an argument, like, if you're there, then it is, you know, it's kind of enabling the bad decision, but at the same time, sometimes you just got to make the best that you can out of suboptimal situations. In fact, often. That's what you have to do in solo queue, especially if it's in silver, you know? You just got to embrace the YOLO queue and just look for opportunities. And Akali is very good at cleaning that kind of stuff up. This Nos is huge right now. Yeah, if Gnosis is there, I would take the fight. Pretty much. I wish there was a way you could play around Gnosis, but... Whoa! Verdant Barrier! I think that's too defensive. I mean, we talked about this, I think... Was it last time you played Akali? Again, I realize you haven't been able to implement what we talked about, but I think you went, like... Zhonya's plus Banshees. I just feel like that's just not... This is just not enough damage. Like, I think that one of the main reasons to play Akali is she has really good backline access, right? You can get in there and blow up someone on the backline and just start, you know, throw down your smoke and just disrupt, right? And I just feel like if you don't have enough damage, then you can't do your mission properly. Well, I mean, you can be in that camp, Dylan, but I'm just telling you, in a lot of these replays, Dylan says, for those of you that are watching the replay, that he's just, you know, he says he's in the camp of, we got what we came for, let's just leave. But this comes down to, you know, something that I struggle with, that I talk about on stream too, is like, what's the ideal situation versus what's the best thing you can do given what your team's doing, right? And the ideal situation is, yeah, they back up and reset most of the time, right? But if it looks like they're not going to do that, then it might be better if you're just around. Now, it's contextual. It depends. But there are a lot of these fights, and we just saw this earlier with Rumble, right? Where, you know, they were taking these kind of questionable coin flip fights, and you chose not to go there. And if you would have been there, then you definitely could have turned some of those fights around, though. So I think you can be around, like, you can be in the area and hover and, like, not fully commit to dumb fights. And I think that that's just a playstyle that you're just gonna have to embrace when you're playing something like Akali. You know, again, if you're playing Camille or Trendamere or like this really hard split pusher that can 1v1 or something like that, then I could see, you know, maybe just fade into a side lane and just like hard splitting. But you're not getting anything out of that, right? Like, all you're doing is barely cleaning up mid lane when you go do that. You know what I mean? If it was like, what happened there? Oh, your team just... Someone just surrendered? Oh, they just surrendered. Okay, because Nos is just killing everybody. They had enough. Okay. But, like, you got to think of what are you trading, right? So, you know your team when Twitch is positioning like that. You know they're probably going to fight. So you got to think, okay, if I'm not there, their chances to win that fight go down by like 30% or more, right? So they're almost 100% going to lose that fight. So you got to be thinking, what am I gaining for that? And, you know, basically, if they're all going to die, what am I trading for that? And all that you're getting was like a wave of minions or something, right? Like, it wasn't that much. And I think if you're hovering around instead, if you're just kind of there, right? If the fight starts looking okay and you're just, you know, sort of hanging out on the outskirts and just sort of seeing if an opportunity shows up, I don't think you're giving up that much opportunity cost, and you're not necessarily putting yourself in huge danger, right? Like, Akali, you probably can get away, you know what I mean? And especially on an assassin like Akali, who's so mobile, you can clean up a lot of these fights, even if they're kind of, you know, sketchy to begin with. If people just get sort of low, you can probably go in and clean it up. So, you know, unless you're getting some major advantage off of not being at the fight, I would try to be at most fights. I think especially in solo queue, just being at the fight is just because they're going to take the fight, right? Like, people are not going to be looking at the mini map. They're not going to be thinking strategically. You know, they're going to take the fight most of the time. So, you know, if you're Trendamir or Camille and you're pushing a side lane and you're threatening a tower or something like that, then yes, maybe you don't go to that fight because you're actually threatening the objectives, and even if your team loses the fight, you might still be able to gain an advantage off of towers or accumulating a really like large CS and level lead so that you can 1v1, you know, and draw split push pressure later on in the game. You know, get like 2 people to have to deal with you, and then you can rotate and find better fights later. So if you're getting like something really good in exchange for not being at the fight, then that kind of makes sense. But I feel like a lot of these times it's just you're just farming a minion wave and maybe doing it and just like maybe not showing up, just kind of like you said, on principle. Like, it's a dumb fight, so I'm not going to do it. When, you know, I think that sticking around might be a little bit better. I mean, it is always contextual, right? And there are some fights you should definitely leave, but I think that like being in the area of a place where the rest of your team is congregating is good, just so that you can kind of respond. But so yeah, I mean, the fight looked bad from Twitch, but since you were already there, you were already in the area, right? Just taking those extra 5 seconds just to hang out and just kind of see, you know, what happens. And remember, you don't have to like fully commit to it, but I think just being there. If you were already in the top lane and you didn't have teleport or something, right, and they're trying to set up something like that in the bottom jungle, of course, don't rotate all the way from top to come down there, right? But if you're already there, you know, you might as well take a look at it. But anyways, okay, well, that's going to be it for this replay. So thank you very much, Dylan. I really appreciate it. So just thinking about that fight selection, trying to hover around, you know, some team fights a little bit there. And then in contrast, a couple other things that we saw, you took some fights that were, I don't think there were as many in this game, but like that one that was kind of spooky around here where you chase the guy through the jungle, but the rest of your team was like on the bottom side of the map. I think just you and the Gnosis were kind of chasing Yone through the jungle. So that was a little spooky. But, and just thinking about the itemization, you know, that we mentioned before, like, I think this could work if they're going like triple tank maybe, but I just don't think it's enough damage against that many squishy champs. But anyways, we'll go ahead and call it there. So thank you very much. As always, I appreciate it. Anyone else like a coaching session, email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com or come by, stop by the stream. We'd love to have you. Very friendly, chill community. And we'll see everybody next time. Have a good day. Okay. Couple more. And then we'll get a couple games in here. Oh. Busting out the Casio game here. You're just playing all the hard champs, aren't you? Now, I actually have played Casio quite a lot in the last couple of seasons. At least a couple hundred games, probably. So, she's had a couple of changes to her, but I'm a little bit more familiar with her than some of the other ones. Okay. They just love giving you red side, don't they? Alright, we'll go ahead and record this. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Do another coaching session here with the legend, Dylan. Sponsored a lot of these coaching sessions recently, so special thanks to Dylan as always. This time we're doing a Cassiopeia mid-game. So if you'd like a coaching session yourself out there, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. I'm happy to set that up for you. Come by, check out the stream. Starts around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually goes till about 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very friendly, chill community. We'd love to have you. And it's just $25 if you're not a channel member, $20 if you are a channel member. So really helps out a ton. I am an educator at a large public university in the United States. Don't get paid a lot of money to do it as an instructor. So, you know, these donations really help me continue to teach and do the things that I love and make it affordable. So it's subsidizing the money the university doesn't pay me. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. Now, as always, when I'm coaching non-supports, I like to throw up the disclaimer early on that I'm not a mid-main. I'm not a Cassiopeia main. Dylan is aware of this. Dagon is aware of this. So, you know, I specialize in support, capped out at D3 support last season. So we're going to be focusing mostly on fight selection and macro rather than individual, you know, micro mechanical things in the laning phase. Although I will say I have played Cassiopeia a lot more than I've played things like Akali, because I was playing when Cassio was meta bottom. I think it was early last season that I played a lot of games on her. So I really like Cassio a lot, so I am a bit more familiar with her. Although I haven't played her super recently. Okay. Now, Cho's not the scariest jungler early, but you still got to be a little careful early on. Yeah, you just want to make sure you get those last hits with those fangs. There you go. That's one thing that I really like about Cassio is that you should be able to have a really good last hit situation because of the fangs. Yeah, I was gonna say tier. I'm not sure because I don't think I've played her since the new tier came out. I still feel like maybe Doran's Ring in this matchup is better than tier, and you get your tier on your first back. I feel like it might be a little greedy just because you don't have the health and the mana regen. Yeah, I would have flashed earlier. You don't want to get into a situation where they can just flash and auto you once. You know, you don't want to get that low. But yeah, maybe it would have started with Doran's. Okay, cool, Black Falcon. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to consult some of the other Cassio specialists, but especially against an assassin like an all-in champion like LeBlanc, I'd probably just want that health early on. And the fact that you get a lot of value out of that Doran's Ring because you get refunded on your E whenever you last hit, but it also gives you back that mana on hit. So it's almost like you can, you know, you're gaining mana by last hitting, which allows you to trade much more aggressively. So I like that. I mean, if you're like a... Oh... That was close. If you're like a challenger Cassio, I think you can't even go Corrupting Pot. And just like really hardcore zone and go for like some big trades early on. At least I used to see a lot of Cassios go in that, but that is a little bit more advanced. I mean, this is like a good stacking build, but I probably would have gone Ring and then first bat, get tier. So I think ring is also spells get an extra. Oh no, it's just attacks. Okay, I thought it used to be spells also gave you 5 extra. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, it does give you health on Doran's ring. We were talking about that with Akali last time. Okay, well that makes a little more sense with Akali then. You do gain some health regen off of that. Okay, so I guess that's worth considering. Okay, but they took off. I'm pretty sure it used to give extra damage on single target spells too against minions, but okay, so Tear the Goddess. Okay, you're actually winning quite a bit in CS. That's good. Where are you going? If you're gonna ward this bush, I would ward right here. Because like that ward right there is just not giving you a lot of information. So you want to ward right here so you see the whole river. If you're afraid they're gonna sweep it. If you don't think they're gonna sweep it, I might go right here. Okay, so you're TPing down. Okay, did you ping? I think you pinged it when you were coming in, right? Oof. Wait, where was your W? So I'm thinking I would drop W right here, right now, and then ult that. I would have W'd on her first so she can't net like that. That was unfortunate that she netted back the other way while also looking away from you. So yeah, I maybe would have held the ult there. I don't know. I would have definitely dropped the W first and then Q her and then just start Eing her. Or open with your R, just like come around the corner and then just R her before she sees you there. Instead of showing like that. So yeah, that was some unfortunate execution there. Yeah, first order of business, I think a lot of times, unless you're getting a sneak attack on somebody, is to get that W down to limit the mobility. Oh, right there, the R would have been amazing. If you got the LeBlanc, but you probably wouldn't have been able to convert it. Obviously, you didn't have it up, but... Now, what are you rushing, Ludens? Probably do Ludens here. I mean, I guess you could do Archangels first. I don't think Archangels is worth it to... I don't think it's worth it to rush that item anymore. Unless, like, you really need for it to be fully stacked. So I'd probably go Ludens here, which... Hopefully that's what you're doing. No, I think you had to fully commit to that. Like, walk around this way. Well, okay, they're going back up, but they could be running. Yeah. Alright, W, 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 right there. W, W, W. I think you don't even need to use the W to kill her, though. Like, the R to kill her, though. I think if you just throw the W down and then just Q her, she's dead. And then then you can have your R ready for the LeBlanc, you know? Like, you don't want to use it if you don't have to. Or just to, like, bush gank, you know? I don't like Leandri's with the changes. I mean, like, Cho is gonna have... Cho's gonna have some bonus health, obviously, but... I think the movement on Leandri's is just... Or, Luden's is just too good for Cassio. So, like, right there, if you had ult, you definitely would kill her. Boom, ult, she's dead. But because you don't have ult, she can kill you. So I would just save it for the all-ins with LeBlanc. It's just, it's so good when she tries to, like, all-in you like that. Because she pretty much has to look at you whenever she W's in like that. But it's going to be very difficult for you to beat her without R in a 1v1 like that. And Caitlyn is just, like, will melt. If you throw an R on her, and like I said, just hit her with one Q. It's going to be, like, W, Q, and then just run her down, E, 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 she's dead. If Leandri still did the shred, like, maybe it'd be a little bit better, but I'd probably just go, like, Luden's, Rylai's. Especially against LeBlanc, like, you need her to die. There you go. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Good job. Could maybe make an argument for, Frost as well. I don't think a lot of people do that. I mean, movement speed's just so huge on Cassio. Because you don't have boots, obviously. You do get extra movement speed from the other stuff. But so much of it with her is just being able to kite and chase down and just kind of reposition and float around like your max spell range and just keep sustained damage. It's almost like an 80 carry. Yeah, and you definitely need to be able to kite like Cho'Gath. Especially, you don't want him knocking you up. Nice. There you go. So what's up now? Man, this makes me want to play some Cassio. She's certainly a lot of fun. Watch out for the Cho. Okay, Cho's top. Okay, everyone's gone. One plate. One plate, then you gotta go. Cho's coming for you, so you're gonna have to exit to the south. Okay, run, 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 south. It still might be too late, but yeah, I would go like right here. Because he's got, Kim tank, so hopefully this is not warded. Thank God. If he just silenced you right there, it would have been really bad. I mean, like, it's good against Cho, and I guess if, you know, you could make the argument that, I mean, I guess it's pretty good against, Urgot too. I don't know, it's not terrible. It's not, I think it's pretty close between Luden's and Leandri's in this game. Got him? Nice. Okay, good. I like it. They're very good at taking the Raptors. How much gold are you sitting on? I feel like you're sitting on too much gold. 1,100. I would definitely back after this. Yeah, go ahead and back. See, now you've got a bad back timing. because you can't back now or you're gonna lose. And everybody's missing, so they could all be coming for you right now in theory. As I probably would have just backed after Dragon and spent your gold. You're also losing map pressure now, so they could go get Rift. And you guys really should be getting that Rift. Like, I could see maybe if you really wanted to play like a tempo advantage, if everybody was committed, if you pinged Rift after you take the Dragon, you could come up and everyone just like hard push middle and then rotate up and get position on Rift. But everyone's just kind of YOLOing. Heh. Okay, it was a good attempt. Again, I like if you lead with the W first. Guess you could try to catch him off guard. I think that the frost item, I'm blanking out on the name, but the thing that roots him could be interesting on cast. You probably don't want it. You probably want one of the other items, but just being able to like stun them and just see if they're facing you, because if you stun them while they're facing you, W, 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 you got to throw these W's down. It's huge. If you just W Cho right in the face when he's trying to run up like that, I mean, there's pretty much no way he kills. You gotta try to stay, like, further back as well, right? Oh, you used it right here. Yeah, don't ever use it to clear the wave. Unless you're, like, 100% gonna back. Because it's so important. In, like, any of your all-ins, or if the jungler comes at you, that's really one of your only defense mechanisms, is that W. So you really want to keep that up and not use that to wave clear. Because that was a, you know, I'm assuming it probably wasn't back off cooldown, which is why you didn't use it, but yeah, you really don't want to use that for just for farming. Yeah, because again, if you had that W right there, you would have saved Riven. And you gotta kite more, like you're basically walking into melee combat with him. So like right there, ideally you throw down the W and then you just Q and just kite backwards. And maybe just try to, I don't know, it's kind of awkward because LeBlanc's on this side. Maybe you just W, Q, and then start kiting this way. Just like, you know, E, 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 and then just like position over here, firing on them. Yeah, because if this LeBlanc's on it, and it's silver, they may not be, but if they ever see you use that W, then they know they've got 20 seconds where you're going to be pretty vulnerable. Sorry, let me rewind there. You TP down here. Okay. It was a good TP flank. W. Yeah, again, lead with the W, lead with the W. Hold on to that R. That way you have the R ready if the Cho or the Urgot are running at you. Because against these little squishy champs, you don't need that most of the time. You're just gonna delete them with just your Q and your E. Like the R is just really overkill. You need that against the LeBlanc, the LeBlanc, the Urgot, or the Cho'Gath like running at you. Really, you want to think of like, a lot of times Cassiopeia is just like her W and her R is just like your defensive tools most of the time. And if you can just keep them at max range and just Q plus E, you're probably going to be able to beat most people in fights if they don't do anything special, right? And your W and your R is to counteract if they do something special. But otherwise, just machine gun them down, force them to try to come into you, and then use your defensive cooldowns to kite them back further. Or, I mean, you could... See, your team just really doesn't have great vision control. You do around Dragon. Nice, there you go. Like, this is a great place for you to try to get down here and get position in, like, this bush. Yeah, and then get the ult on Cho. Like, if you can get an ult on one of them out of a bush, that's great. W, you want a W first. There you go. Okay, you got him. I was about to say, you definitely would have had him if you opened with W, I think, but... You want to open with W too, so they can't flash. Now, his flash is down, but... There you go. Kite. No, too close. Yeah, you gotta stay max range. Remember, your E is like 800 range or something, I think. It's pretty far. I think if you just kited that, like 100%, you guys just completely dominate him in that fight. And you always want to be thinking about, like, where's the safest place you can kite. It's very similar to like an AD carry. So, like, I love the ult here. Ult, throw the W on him, and then kite this way. You definitely want to be out of his flip range. So, yeah, I would have ult, drop the W on him, Q, and then E, and kite back, and just stay max range with the E. And then if the goon squad like rolls up through this area, then you can like blast cone away. You've also got the bush there, so if they don't have that warded, that makes it a lot harder for the enemy to interact with you too. Okay. Baron. Ping Baron. Run up there immediately. Ult. A little slow. Run. Was ult up the whole time? Yeah, there's really no reason to be... I mean, you should not be running into their jungle. Like, ult should be ult immediately. As soon as you see him. I guess you were trying to go for Raptors there, but I think as soon as you guys get that kill, you just gotta just turbo ping Baron like a million times. And just get your team to go middle, push that up, and then go threaten Baron. Especially if your ult is up. And then just carry around a stack of control wards with you. You do have control wards, which is nice, but push them up. Drop a control ward, like... I would drop a control ward right here. When you push them up and try to prepare for Baron, just drop a ward, like... Or even, like, right here, maybe.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
And that way, they'll come up and try to clear it 9 times out of 10. And then you can just ult them out of this bush, drop the W on them, and get more kills. I call that the oops control ward sometimes. So if you put it like right here, like near the edge of the brush, sometimes they think you just misclicked. The control ward there, and then if you sit in that bush, then you're ready to go when they try to come up and clear it. Alright, let me see what happened in this last fight. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. They got so much tempo off of killing you at that Baron. How'd you get caught here? Let me see. Yeah, I would have definitely pressured Baron and bush baited him. Or if they don't want to come play the game, then you just, you know, get the Baron. Because they don't want to play peekaboo in the bushes. Okay. W. You gotta open with W in these fights. That makes it so much easier to hit your Q, too. This Urgot's putting in some work. The W stops him from charging you immediately when you throw that down, or using Stride Breaker, and then that allows you to land your Q and start kiting him. Q, E, 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 and then you've got to kind of like, with Cassio, you've got to learn how to like strafe. So like not only kite backward, but kind of move like to the side so you dodge skill shots a bit better. I mean, she's a very mechanically intense champion. Because it's kind of like you attack, move, but you can't just like press attack and move, right? You have to constantly move down, use your E to hit them, and then click back over here, then use your E, target them, click back over here, so you're just constantly like having to move your mouse back and forth. So it's like attack moving but on steroids. Because there's no like simple way to do that, I don't believe. So so that's what makes Cassio really rough. But yeah, just working on the spacing. Definitely drop that W immediately whenever a fight's going to break out on a champion where you need to control their movement. Like Urgot, just throw that W down, hit them with the Q, and then with the E, just start kiting back and try to stay max range as much as possible, you know, at all times. And then just kind of wiggling back and forth, like trying to anticipate those skill shots and dodging. So just, you know, making full use of that. Try to stay out of their, you know, close auto attack range or whatever, engage range. So that was a really big thing. Your CS was really good, well, for a while there, and then your like you had a lot of kills. Your items are pretty solid. I would not have gone Hourglass. I just would not go as many defensive items. I think if you want to go for something that's going to help you be a little tankier, I would do Rylai's, just because it helps you kite a little better. This is why stuff like Luden's is really good, though, because it gives you that movement speed so that you can reposition and kite a lot better. And then just saving that ult and using it at the right time. You know, there were a lot of fights where you use it on the bot lane like 2 or 3 times where it wasn't available at other key moments. And then I think you were at most fights. You did have some really good TPs there. So this one really was just kind of about execution, right? Where it's just positioning, trying to stay max distance, using the W, trying to get your positioning for your ult, using it at the right time. But I think for the most part it was the macro was pretty good. I would say, you know, a big one was you should have called the Baron and tried to run with everybody mid, push it, and then go pressure Baron immediately. And you should be able to take it really quickly with Cassiopeia and Lucian. But if they don't want to come over and take a look at it, then you get a free Baron. If they do, like I said, you can hang out in the bush and probably just kill them off of a bush ult. I don't think I saw you do any bush ults. That's a huge thing with Cassio, is you just ult someone out of a bush, drop the W on them, and then just go to work. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you did. If you want to watch more coaching session, I'll have a playlist in the description so you can flip through, find some of your favorite matches, and look at that. If you want to do a coaching session yourself, it's just $25 if you're not a channel member, $20 if you are a channel member. Email me at strategyprofessor@gmail.com or come by the stream, hang out with us, starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time most nights, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. All right, let me just swing by the restroom really quick, and then we'll get this final coaching session here. Sadie, what's up? All right, I'll be back in just a moment. let me grab one more thing here while we're setting up. Okay. A final Akali adventure. All right.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
Everybody, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Go ahead and get back in here. Do another coaching session for Dylan here. Ooh, this is not looking good. Wow, they didn't flash after. Well, I guess they did. They just didn't convert. Why is she turning? Oh God. Oh God. Oh. Oh God.
Blue team double kill.
It's pretty brutal. Wait, how did Talon die? Sorry, I messed up my intro. As soon as I started talking, everything just started getting crazy. Okay. So Ash kills him.
Double kill.
But anyways, welcome. So, if you'd like to see a coaching session yourself or do a coaching session yourself, just $25 if you're not a channel member, $20 if you are a channel member. You can email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com if you're interested, or stop by the stream. Starts around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most nights usually goes till about 2 or 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Very friendly, chill community. We'd love to have you. And your contributions hopefully will give you some good feedback, help you improve your gameplay, and help support education in America, because I do not make a lot as an instructor at a university, so this helps subsidize my passion and for teaching and what I love to do. So okay, nice trades. And as always, whenever we're not doing a support coaching session, I like to remind everybody out there that I am a support main, not a mid main. Have not played a ton of Akali. Dylan knows this. So I'm just going to try to be focusing mostly on fight selection, macro, and sort of bigger picture things rather than sort of very micro mechanical oriented matchup specific things with Akali. And I think that's the best thing to focus on. I believe this is a silver game, and I think just focusing on some of that just game knowledge, you know, decision making type of skills are going to be more useful than some of the very heavy mechanical types of things. So I don't think going like super deep on the mechanics and matchups is really like that useful, right? Until you've already mastered the fight selection.
From a poor student to a poor professor, I sure pay enough intuition.
Hey, thanks, Black Falcon. Yeah, the students are poor and the teachers are poor, so who the hell's making the money? Like that that's the question. Answer: administrators, marketing department, the groundskeepers,
Shut down.
or whoever manages the groundskeepers. Something. Somewhere in the bureaucratic web, somebody's making money. Okay. It's just such a weird arrangement where it's like the students are paying an exorbitant amount of money, they're all poor, and the people that are educating the students are poor. So like the core of what should be the university experience, the relationship between the students, the professors, and the knowledge that's being exchanged, is like not at the center of the money. The money is all elsewhere. I don't want to get too far off on a tangent in the middle of the coaching session, but yeah, it's something like I make less than 5%. My cut of the tuition that students pay to take my class, I get like less than a 5% cut, and the university gets a 95% cut. So for every, you know, $100 that students pay to take my course, I get to keep $5 of that. Which is pretty nuts. When you think about, like, you know, what's the cut that a doctor gets to keep versus what the hospital keeps, or like what's the cut that a plumber gets to keep versus, you know, what his plumbing organization or whatever gets to keep. But anyways, okay. Let me focus back up here and not get too sidetracked by that. But thanks, Black Falcon. Okay, yeah, there's not much you can do there. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying I should get all of it. I mean, obviously the university is like the place, and you know they do a lot of stuff. But I think in most professions, you're probably getting at least a 25 to 50% cut, depending on how it's structured and what you're doing. Certainly more than 5, I think, in a lot of places. But that'd be interesting to look at, just sort of thinking of that as an aside. Because I did work in a restaurant for 8 years, and I don't remember what the labor cut was. Like, what a good cut for that was. But it'd be interesting to see, you know, what percentage the labor is in a lot of, like, restaurants, or even, like, at a McDonald's or something. How much of the, I don't know how they calculate that, of total sales is going to labor.
Red team has slain the dragon.
But I would not be surprised if it was more. Restaurants may not be a good example of that. Okay. Yeah, you just kind of got bamboozled. You got sort of baited there by Scion. How fed is... Okay, so he's already got Dirk. Was your flip available earlier? I would have baited closer to that bush, like... Yeah, I think I would have baited closer to Scion. Use your flip to create that distance. Once he ults. Okay, you did. Okay, so yeah, maybe don't take that right away, though. Maybe wait on that a little bit. You had smoke, right? Was your smoke up? As soon as he ults, I would smoke, right? And then he can't target you. Smoke. Then he can't E you, like, once you smoke. So I would just smoke as soon as he does that. As soon as he ults, just smoke. And then if Scion rolls up, just just wait a second until he comes out of invisibility and loses the second part of the damage. And if he stays, then you can all in him. If he just runs away, fine. He used his ult for no reason, and then you've got, like, whatever it is, 90 seconds to punish him for it. Yeah, I would have tried to find a way to stall a little bit more. Yeah, in restaurants, the labor costs are pretty low because most, at least in the United States, most of the, wait, why are we going bottom?
Shut down.
It's like $2.13 an hour, and, you know, those employees work on tips. So, really, that's not a good way to measure labor because it's like this hidden labor cost. I would have just gone back middle. I mean, I guess like Sivir is low, but
Shut down.
it just feels really risky. And you were losing some experience in like minions to towers, so you're down like 20 CS already, not 15. Okay, he's going for... So he's going for like a tankier build, I guess. Okay. Kindred's coming. Volley's here. Talon's gonna be here. Ooh. Okay.
Team double kill.
Let me see this one more time. This is so dicey because y'all don't have vision of this. So they're probably going to get the jump on you. I don't like that fight. Okay, you did get a kill on the volley, which is nice. I would...
Team double kill.
I don't know. I mean, y'all did kind of make it work, but... Like, Talon's pretty fed. I mean, y'all did get the first kill, and then you got the Kindred ult down to stop a lot of the Talon. So I don't know. Maybe if your team just executed that better. I feel like that's a coin flippy fight though, and I usually don't like those kinds of fights. I mean, I know I was saying like be around those fights last once. That's good, but I think after you get that first kill, when they're just about to kill the Scion, I think I would have dipped out at that point. You did end up trading a kill. Oh, I was like, where the hell's the Shin? The Shin support. Okay, if he had that ult the whole time and he just didn't use it bot lane, I think, well, I don't know. They do have an Ashe. Ashe, in theory, could arrow him if he tried to ult. So I guess that's okay to take that fight. I was going to say, you have to be very careful with taking those fights with the Shin support. I totally forgot he was even in the game. But you got to know the status of his ult. You got to be pretty confident that bot's going to be able to lock him down. Now, obviously, if he's in base, if he backs or something. Yeah, that was an overstay. You did get away, but I think that happens quite a bit where you stay a little too much trying to push and get a plate. So I feel like that happens in most games at least once. That's something definitely a trend to keep track of and work on a little bit. Okay. It's questionable. So you're not there. Why not, though? Okay, so you ran away. Okay, so Kindred's doing Scuttle. I mean, you've got priority right now. Like, the wave's pushing into him. I would have rotated down there instead of coming over here. I would have rotated down because now he's got the step on you. Because you had the pressure on him, and if you were there first to help the Kindred kill the Volibear, because Kindred was right here, you had Scuttle, so she could have kited him around Scuttle. I think you could have sandwiched him. Yeah, Talon's gonna follow, but he had minions right here. I think you would have had a free like 5 seconds if you went there immediately with him. I know you don't have ult also, but I would have still liked to do that instead of just letting the Talon get priority for free so that he can be the first one there. Because you gotta know it's probably going down, right? Like, they're gonna fight. Talon's getting out of hand pretty quick. Careful, the rest of your team's not there yet. Okay. Nice. Wait, why are you not autoing? Okay. Maybe you were in smoke and like the replay just didn't show it. That's a bit ambitious. Under tower like that against Volibear. I wouldn't have done that. I mean, just turn around and get Dragon. Yeah, I don't. Against a point-click stun champ, I wouldn't do it. I would have just turned around and just do Dragon. Kindred might be able to clean this up. Nami had a nice view. Yeah, after you kill one or two of them and Volibear's really low, just come over here, do Dragon. If they want to contest it, fine. Turn around and kill them. If not, you get a free Dragon. So you could have had Dragon, and then if they try to contest and you kill the Volibear, you could probably even get Dragon and then Rift. Oh, you're waiting for the Mordekaiser ult? Okay. I guess that's fair, but... Oh, did he ult you and I just couldn't see it? It looked like you were very close to him the whole time. Like you were in auto range, you just weren't autoing in. For the sake of time, I'll keep going here. But I don't know. It looked funny, but sometimes on replay, sometimes it doesn't show you the smoke. It doesn't show you the Mordekaiser ult and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure, but it looked like you were close enough to auto attack him, and you were like kiting him without auto attacking him, but I'm not sure. Yeah, now Volibear's gonna get this for free. Oof. That's a big shutdown. Nice. Yeah, get him. You got him sandwiched. She's gonna have to flash. She didn't have flash, she's dead. Baron, as soon as you kill her. Baron. Oh no, she got Kindred. How? Oh my god. Oh, I guess Baron's not up, but Rift. Rift or bottom. Oh, okay. So you could not auto-attack the Mordekaiser because... I see. Yeah, that's just a replay glitch. Okay, then you did that right. I was like, that's really weird. Why are you not auto-attacking him? Okay, so he ulted Scion, so you were not able to auto-attack him because he was in the death realm. Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, it was good then. The only thing that went poorly was the dive in the Volibear, which he was low. to be fair, but it's also, you know, a point-click stun champ under a tower, so I still would have just let him run away and just get Dragon, but... Now, maybe if that was old school Akali, where you could smoke and drop tower aggro, but... Still not a big fan of this item. I know you're testing it out, but... Because, like, this, you just... you got him. They, again, you know, they do have some tanky champs. Volibear and stuff like that, but... I'd rather just kill him fast. Nice.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay. You could have maybe pressured Talon there, but... Okay, you're matching Mord top. Can you beat Mord? Maybe. Maybe with Hourglass. Yeah, I like Hourglass here because you already had to commit to Arm Guard against Talon, and that is pretty good against the Talon ult. Pretty good against Mord ult, too. Oh, nice. Nice ult. Okay. I'm like sitting here watching this fight. You're not even here, but seeing how it goes down. I think that's... Yeah, you don't have TP. I think that's probably okay to be up here. Someone did have to match the Mord. Scion was middle. I guess that's fine. It's just, it's always a little awkward to me to be in a side lane with Ignite. Especially when you've got a lot of your team's power. But I think that's probably fine. You did get several waves. You defended. And you're on the, you're at least on the objective side of the map, right? Like Rift's the only thing that's available right now, so you're at least near that area.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay. It's Death Realm. Yeah. Nice. Is Bear... Kindred's down here. What the hell? Okay, y'all could have done Baron if Kindred started running up there. But I guess they're waiting. So they opted into a 2v3. Who all was on top side? It was you and Nami that were left, right?
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, I guess that's just kind of rough. I mean, that's what happens when you fight on the potentially the wrong side of the map. I mean, it's a tough call because Baron is on the top side of the map, but Dragon was coming up, and that was on the bottom side of the map. If Kindred and you know, if Kindred and Ashe had started rotating top, you could have traded a Dragon for Baron. But I guess there's not much else you can do in that situation. I'm kind of wondering if you should even take that fight top with Dragon coming up in like 40 seconds. If you should not just like position around Dragon. But you did get several kills top. It's just you would have to give up Dragon for that, basically. At a minimum, I would have pinged them off that Dragon on the bottom side, since it was going to be a 2v3. Push this up. Yeah, they're getting Baron position on you here. Oh, okay. Good. Could you have been here faster? Let me see. What are you doing? Okay, so you're... Okay, so you see them all positioning there. Okay, then you're running. Yeah, probably too dangerous to go through try right there. Okay, then you immediately start running down. Okay, yeah, that's as good as you could have done it right there, I think. It's just unfortunate that Scion opted into that. I mean, you do want to get flanks as a collie, so, you know, you don't want to be sitting in a bush just kind of YOLO queuing with them. So, I think it was okay to split there as long as you don't get caught, but it's unfortunate. Yeah. Pretty much all you can do is push this. I don't think y'all can stop it. No. That's dumb. Yeah. Should just... Yeah, just go bottom. No, don't. This is one where you should not go. Don't, because it's really uneven. Maybe? I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be an int. Is that a misclick? Yeah. It's like 2v4. I would have just pushed middle like that, and then I would have immediately gone and probably pushed bottom. The reason to do that would be it's going to put pressure on both lanes, and it'll probably buy you at least 30 seconds to a minute of Baron. It'll allow your team to spawn faster. Or it'll give your team more time to spawn. So basically they won't be able to do as much damage if you can push both of those lanes out. So yeah, because your team had already wasted... Nami was dead, first of all. Ashe had already wasted her arrow, trying for the 1 in a million chance to steal Baron with arrow against a jungler with smite. It was going to be a really bad fight. So I think that's a situation where, you know, you want to just push the side lanes. I know sometimes it sounds contradictory, right? Because I'm telling you to, like, show up to more fights, but then that one where you show up, I'm telling you don't show up. And I mean, that's the tough thing, is like, you just kind of have to make a judgment call about how's the situation going. Is there any way that, like, you're going to be able to get there in time to salvage it, you know? And that's just, it's very contextual. So this is part of why, you know, having a narrow champion pool is so important, because then you can start to get a sense of when you should take these fights and when you shouldn't. But generally, if your team has used a lot of its cooldowns and they're outnumbered and they're already sort of behind in the game, like the enemy team had Baron right there, so they're going to have all the Baron, extra Baron stats.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I would probably not show up. Okay, so they're not doing that much with it, though. You got Dragon off of it. They didn't even get the tier 1 middle because you had the lane pushed up. So that's good. How'd you get caught right there? Let me see. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't walk out like Nami's not there, so there's no way you guys win that fight. And like several of them are right there, so there's just no way you can walk in front like that. There's not even like an objective you're positioning for, you know what I mean? So you gotta just back up and just run. Just retreat. Alright, well, your team cleared it up. Yeah, they should just do Baron. Or do mid tower. They should have time for inhibitor, and then I would start pinging Baron. It's probably got like what, 20 seconds?
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
You guys could have had Baron. Talon's bottom. Everybody's taking their back timing now. I don't know. That's always a tough call when you have some gold and you can take a back timing. But you're also giving up your position on Baron to do that and your tempo to do that. You had pressure in mid and bottom that someone had to answer. So I would have pinged your team to go get the Baron instead of backing. It's whatever. If they have 1,000 gold in the bank, I think it's more important to have the position. I think it's more important to position around Baron and get them to face check it. I mean, I say that all the time, but that's like the easiest way to win in League of Legends is get vision on Baron, force them to come look at it, engage, win. Like, take them to the peep show. Oof, that's a big shield. So now they're gonna get Baron. And that's the thing too, is whenever you get Baron, like, it takes it off the map. So they can't get Baron. So the next time they win a fight, they don't get as much. So not only do you get an advantage, you're taking away a potential advantage from them. Oh, I would not have taken that. Like, Nami's dead, and Sion just died right in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's already a 4v5, and Sion's inting, and he just died, so now it's a 3v5. And especially with that build, there's no way you one-shot Talon right there.
Blue team double kill. Ace.
I guess just try to run immediately for Dragon? Are they not doing Baron? Yeah, they are.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Blue
Oh, they got
team's
both of them.
dragon.
That's rough.
Blue team's inhibitor is respawning
So now they got time for their inhibitor. They got to push out the waves. They got third dragon and Baron at the same time. So basically, next time, the dragon will be up a little bit earlier, but they can trade Baron for dragon, and it's going to be really hard because if you guys try to do Baron and dragon's up, then they're going to get soul. So they're almost guaranteed, if they have any sense of macro whatsoever, they're pretty much guaranteed the next Baron as well, and that'll be 3 Barons for them. Sorry, I like some cat hair or something. Some pollen or something on my nose, I don't know. Okay, let's see. So they have Baron. They're pushing into you guys with a lot of minions, so of course that's a great time to engage. Okay, that was a really nice Nami wave. Wow. Yeah, Talon went there. Watch out for Talon. Well, hey. Rough decision, but good execution. Oh, don't go face check him. Does she have ult? Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you gotta have your finger on the R, ready to go, like, immediately. If you're gonna go face check Talon in the bush, as Kindred. I think y'all gotta back up. They have Baron minions. Maybe if you're able to kill Talon. No. It would have been nice if you got that shutdown gold, but who's doing all the healing? I mean, I guess Mordekaiser some. I'd rather, again, you know, like we talked about before, I just go big damage, man. I just go death cap here. Instead of Morello. I just don't think they're healing enough to matter. I mean, like, Volley is healing some, Mordekaiser's healing some, but damn, this is a banger, huh? These are all pretty lengthy games. Okay. Why not just get a fully charged Scion Q there, though? Okay. Okay, good flank. Oh. I don't know if I would use all those resources on the support Shen. I probably would have saved the ult for, like, the Sivir. Yeah, stop him from backing. Can you stop him from backing? Okay, Shen backed. Okay, Sivir back too. Alright.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
It is risky to try to stop him from backing because if Shen taunts you out of a bush or something, you're just dead. So yeah, I guess this is the safer play. Alright, Baron's up in a moment. It's gonna be real sad if Volley like jumps over this and kills you. Smite. Wow, how did he not smite that? Jeez. Do you just smite early? I don't know. You got it though. They get that water drake, especially with like Volibear and Mordekaiser and Shen, all being pretty tanky. That would have been really bad news. There's that third Baron we talked about 5 minutes ago.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Because y'all had to use so many resources to get the dragon and they just had position on you, then they were pretty much guaranteed that Baron. There wasn't a lot you could do about it other than give up soul to get the Baron, which is not worth. So I don't know about taking that. I think you take these a little too often. I mean, you're kind of learning the limits, I guess, of a Kali, but like Shen's right there, you know. He's got that taunt. If he taunts you, you're dead against Talon most of the time. That one has quite a bit of lifesteal too, so yeah, I guess that. I guess that's an argument for Morello. I don't know. At the time when I suggested getting Deathcap, he didn't have Ravenous, but I don't know. I still think sometimes the best way to deal with sustain like that is just blow him up. You know, immediately. Then you can't lifesteal if you're dead. So. And he has no tankiness to go with that sustain, so. If he just dies. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on here. Okay. Nice. This is a good ult. Yeah, this should be cleanup. Y'all just went off of that, right? Oof. Okay. No way. How did she die? Did she just die from bouncing W's? Minions? Oh. She's threw one. So she was auto-attacking you, then threw one over at her and killed her. It's kind of a weird graphical thing going on here. It's Nocturnes in the game. Let me... There we go. Oof. How? Okay, so... What? You were... Okay, so you got You got middle. They've got Talon. So yeah, it's 3v2. Hard to give up this dragon, but you can't really pressure bottom either because they could just come down and kill you. As much as it sucks, I think you just have to lay down that dragon. You could maybe like hover around and try to distract him, but I don't think you can commit to a 2v3. Especially against the Talon. Alright. Okay, so more TP bottom. Maybe try to just push up mid if you can, and then look for Baron. Are they gonna get a fourth Baron? What the hell is the goal? Does each team have like 100k gold or something? No, it's like 80k. What's up, Sammy? So Kindred's dead, so that's fourth Baron. Unless they really screw something up. Oh, really? Does he just get it right here? Well, you stopped the Mordekaiser. That's actually really clutch, that arrow on Mord, because you can't death realm him. Okay, so he doesn't fully get it, but he gets it low. And you guys pick off the Talon, who is being really greedy, trying to push by himself. Did he not have a ward? He's blue ward. I mean, if your Scion would teleport, I would just keep yellow wards, right? Just so if you try to backdoor like that, you could have just dropped a ward. Maybe they don't see it, like around here, or maybe they forget about it. And then you can TP in and do it again. I hate that style of play, but honestly, that might be your... I don't know if that is your best chance, though. I mean, it's an option that's available, but I think you guys can win team fights, too.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Sion's middle. Oh, he's just gonna... Okay. He's just gonna win while y'all are doing this. Yeah, stop the back, stop the back, stop the back. Oh, we really needed to hit the Sibber there. I think he's gonna get it anyway, so... Oh, the neck... The inhibitor came back up. Oh my god. That is hilarious. I'm really rooting for you, Dylan. I want you guys to win, but I hate that crap so much. That backdoor garbage. So I'm torn. Because I want you guys to win, but I also hate the way that is your most likely win condition right now.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Wait, how? Who got the... Had the Nexus, or the, oh, Ash. How'd they let that happen?
Blue team's inhibitor
Where are
has been
they?
destroyed.
Okay, so they're all like... Oh, 2 of them are dead. Sorry, it's been tough for me to keep up with this. With everything that's going on in this game. Okay, Shen's just...
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
top. Alright, well, I guess that's how it goes. Jeez. Ugh. Well, I don't even know what to say. I can't even remember everything that's happened. Doing 4 of these in a row. So there were a couple of times you were caught out. There were definitely numerous times where I feel like you guys could have, when you won a fight, you could have just gotten position in the Baron area and forced them to come look at Baron. So that's one thing. Is just try to get vision. Try to, set up for objectives a little bit earlier if you can. I'm still not entirely sold on this build. I mean, you had a really good KDA. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's all right. Maybe that's what a lot of top end Akalis are doing. It just seems a little slow. But I mean, some of these fights are lasting for quite a long time. So I guess if you think the fights are going to last longer than 5 seconds or whatever, then and maybe against Mord, Volley, Shin, maybe that does happen. What else? I can't honestly remember. Oh, like wave pressure, that was something that we talked about that's been common in a lot of videos, is just managing the wave properly. And there were a couple of times you could have collapsed on them in the river if you just got better priority on the Talon. You could have been there first, so that would have been pretty huge. Definitely not just, there were a few shurikens there for sure that you opted into that you probably should not have opted into. So, being careful with that, trying to gauge your kill potential. And that, a lot of that comes with practice and consistency, really playing the same champion, building a lot of the same items often so that you learn their limits and things like that. So, not much to talk about there. I mean, it's a mistake when you were going in on some of those, so just trying to learn from that. But anyways, I guess that's going to be it. Otherwise, just, look at those key moments that we talked about, because like I said, I can barely remember. This is such a long game, and there's so much that was going on, but hopefully I gave you some good commentary there. But that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Anyone else out there like a coaching session of your choice, just email me, strategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. I'm happy to set that up. Come by, check out the stream. Starts around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time most nights, and I'll see everybody next time. Have a good day. All right. So thanks for hanging with me through the coaching sessions. If people aren't a fan of that, I think they're pretty cool. You get to see some different champs, hear some commentary on different champs. Viewership numbers aren't that bad, considering sort of what the standard has been, and considering that I missed last night. Okay, but I will play. We'll play at least one. I am a little bit kind of mentally fatigued after all of those, but I do want to play at least one or two here. So I'll try not to do that many in a row again. It's just, like I said, today is just kind of like basically the deadline when I had to do those, because it's patch day and replays become invalid on new patches, and I just haven't really managed my time super well over the last couple of days. I just try to do too much. I've had student conferences all day and some family stuff, hanging out with Rory and trying to get some yard work done, and just adulting things, teaching things. But hopefully I can get back on the wagon here. I need to start doing some more Total War stuff too, and then I'm gonna release some content for WoW as well, some guides and things like that. Yeah, managing waves, it does take some pressure, or it does take some time to kind of figure that out. It just depends on, how much threat are you under from the enemy jungler a lot of times, or just from your laner from all ends, right? Do you need to play defensively, or do you have enough power where you can push and get priority and challenge scuttles? And I mean, there's not really a or Rome or something like that. And there's not really a perfect answer to that. It's always dynamic and contextual, and so it just takes a lot of practice and really knowing. Am I millennial or Gen X? Somewhere in between. I don't know. I don't really like the term millennial. I was born before the internet. Hey, thanks, Dylan. I think that, I think that's so important. Like millennials, they count, millennials are part of an age range that was, some people were born before the internet, some people were born after the internet. And I think the internet is such an insanely important milestone in like just culture around the world. It's very, very different in a world with the internet and without the internet. So I think I'll probably identify much closer with a Gen Xer, although I don't think that I'm technically in that bracket. Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm just gonna swing by the restroom and just refresh for a couple of seconds, just kind of reset my mind here, and then we'll come in and play. It's a shame we missed Jason, but we'll get him next night. I really appreciate the donations from Dylan and helping him out and just able to catch up here. Well, I also have a lane priority guide that I think is pretty solid. That's one of the tougher guides out there. I think even like challenger players, honestly, like obviously they're good players, but I think a lot of the guides on wave management are incorrect. It depends on the lane and the matchup, but a lot of times people, will say you should try to freeze out, and I've heard people say that about bot lane even, that's what you should be doing, and I think that's incorrect. I think most of the time in bot lane especially, you want priority because you're trying to get scuttles, get vision, like open up your support to roam, pressure dragons and things like that, versus top a lot more you're trying to defend yourself from ganks because you're not going to be able to take objectives early on in the game, and you don't have vision that you can place in their jungle very deep, or not that much vision, right? You've got your yellow trinket, so there's just not as much of an advantage to getting priority top, and it's a lot riskier to get priority top than it is bottom. So it really depends on the lane, it depends on what you're trying to do, and obviously some, pro players have that idea and some don't. Right, like when you hear, Double Lift's commentaries and other people's commentaries, like he really values priority, he understands it a lot, but I see these other guides and stuff that are just like, oh, you should just like freeze them. It's just so much of it is contextual, but if it's top, I think you should default to freeze a lot of the time, freeze in zone. Bottom, I think you should pressure, and mid is kind of somewhere in between. It just depends on the matchup, but ideally I think you want pressure in mid if you can do it safely, because you have such a high ability to roam in the mid lane versus other roles, and you can you just have so much pressure, right? You can contest scuttles, you can help your jungler invade, you can defend against invades, so it just opens you up a lot more if you can get priority. But anyways, okay, I'll be back in just a second. Just give me just like 2 minutes, just a mental reset, and we'll get a game or two in here. Okay. Yeah, I know they just getting back to Poseidon swag. So like I said, I think it's more useful to think of the culture. I identify more probably with Gen X culture than millennial culture. Rather, like 81 just seems like such an arbitrary date to me. You saw a build for Shen rushing Kim Tank, Redemption, and McHale's. Did this build derive from a YouTube video that used multiple capital letters? And by multiple, I mean all. Okay, well, this dude's already tilted. Good, good. I don't know. I needed to ask if she was going to play Jinx or not. I feel like, I'm not sure who to ban on this patch. I feel like Jinx is still probably a pretty good ban. I don't know about Hecarim. Maybe. I mean, I'd have to see. I feel like that's not ideal. maybe support, but even still, I would just tell you to get boring old Locket plus, I don't even know, Knight's Vow or something. Jinx? Senna. Oh no. Did he? I mean, if he literally went from like unranked to challenger 400 with that build. Who is this person? I gotta look this up. I don't know if I can do it right now. If we have a dodge timer, I can. Okay, so no games on Senna. It's blind pick, first pick, Senna. D-list champion right now. Okay, this guy's pretty good on Malphite. What is their... Okay, their support is something weird. Is this guy good on Udyr? He's okay. Alright, I guess we'll just Rakan. Alright, what's his name? I want to see this. So it's like either Skarner support or Fiddlestick support. Alright, we'll just run it this way. Okay, so he started in Masters, but he's played it like a lot. What is it again? Oh, Expetu. I've heard that name before. Is he pro? Maybe I'm thinking of Xpeke. I know I've heard Expetu before. EU West, I'm assuming. Or is it NA? Japan? The fuck? EU West. Yeah, there we go. Well, does it sometimes. Yeah? I don't know. I have to watch a video on it. It's 57%. That's pretty good.
Nothing important.
Okay. I mean, maybe there's something there. I mean, Kim Tank does allow you to engage. They did just nerf it this patch, so be careful with that if he did that on past patches, which I'm sure he did.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Okay, so it's Comet Fiddlesticks bottom.
It's a revolution.
Dark Harvest Sivir.
And it's good times.
How easy it is to game the ladder? What do you mean?
Minions have spawned.
I mean, if it's a pro, yeah, it's gonna feel easy. I don't think there's like... I mean, if he's talking about things like win trading and stuff like that, that doesn't really happen until you start to get into Masters. I don't think there's a really good way to exploit the ladder other than like boosting or just playing against weaker opponents. Like to structurally abuse stuff in the ranking system until you start to get to Masters. And things like win trading and things of that nature. But I think if you're just silver or something, I don't think there's a really simple way to climb from silver to challenger. But yeah, up near the top, there are some problems. They got rid of Duo Q, which was one big one. I suspect at some point they might end up doing nameplates for challengers. They haven't said they're going to do that, but or for the Masters Plus bracket. But I think that would solve a lot of the dodge problems. I still need to make that video about dodging. I've talked about it several times on stream, but just haven't got around to making the video over the last couple of days.
What humans call
there's the link. Oh, I looked at his op.gg. Oh, you mean on his YouTube video? I mean, I'd have to watch the video and
I'm gonna take all day.
going from diamond. I don't know. I'd have to see what someone had in mind. Okay. Maintain your rank, but drop in MMR. I don't know. I mean, you can dodge a lot at 0 LP,
They want us in cages.
if that's what he's talking about.
Look right. Time to show it.
Oh, she took 2 tower shots? Okay.
Hello? You ready for me? I got you. Humans talk about their lies. We talk about their lies.
Trade that flash on her. I might have a window where we hit 6 before her flashes back up. She's probably trying to back. Okay, so we should be able to get priority here. How long on Dragon? 17 seconds.
Humans made promises. More than I can remember. They kept none.
Okay, so we got priority bot. They backed up right when Dragon was going to spawn, so big macro mistake. We were able to punish it.
They will remember my name.
We're going to lose, like, probably a wave or so. So we're going to be down a little bit because they are freezing us out, but I think it's worth it for a Dragon. Controlling objectives.
They're scared of darkness. They're scared
What was it?
of
It was
magic.
Kim Tank
They are
Redemption.
scared of where I'm from.
I don't like the Redemption. I mean, I know it's like it can be good for team fights. And you can't split with that build, and that's one of Shen's like hallmark traits. So it's really good at split pushing.
An enemy has been slain.
Magic is
Damn.
supposed to be scary. Love
No,
is
she didn't have
supposed
flash.
to hurt.
I guess I forgot she had to flash defensively. This might be one. If Senna chills, we can probably freeze. Oh, if she hit that, that would have been glorious.
I should
Alright.
probably.
Yeah, we should have frozen. We should have let it push into us and freeze her out because Fiddlestick has to back, and there's no objective to take because we already have the dragon. I don't know. I mean, obviously he's a very good player. He has a good win rate on it, so there's definitely something to it. It's just like, can those principles apply to like a silver game? And that's, you know, I think that's a big ask. I think you're sacrificing a lot to try to have like maybe some better team fighting with Redemption with Shen. I'd rather just have the split push carry Shen, honestly.
Look good, feel good. Let's kick some ass.
A summoner has disconnected.
Hey, I got a joke for you.
An enemy has been slain.
What's up, Burning Arrow?
I'm getting impatient. They will see my dance. Then they will know magic's joy. And its
Well,
fury.
this is gonna be difficult. We are ahead, but
A summoner has reached.
I am Vestaya. I am born of magic. This is my destiny.
I mean, he's probably like right here. But I just don't have vision on him, so I don't know. If he ults on top of me, I'm probably dead.
It is a song you cannot resist.
I maybe should have gotten Mercs. Ionians are so greedy. It's so good on Rakan though, but they're so greedy. Yes! Got him to waste his ult. we got the Sivir ult too.
Magic.
Go, 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 go! Don't get the ward, you clown! Oh my god. Why did you stop to get the ward? We had Fiddle.
An ally has been slain.
They had no ults.
Live in the moment. I don't want a world that's safe.
An enemy has been slain.
Can we do this? Yeah, maybe not. Alright. I guess not.
I dance so fine, I kill.
Okay, he wants to rift bottom.
I do not wish to kill the mortals. I want them to There's wild
I think it's time to go.
An ally has been slain.
Why are there so many NA people while EU West is like, man, what do you mean? There's way more people in EU that play than North America.
name one genius that
They are misunderstanding what you're saying. Oh, I'm on EU West. I don't really duo with people that often unless I know them personally. Occasionally, but... You mean on right now?
humans'
Or...
magic is like fire. For us, it's war.
I'm not really sure what you mean. There aren't that many people that are online playing right now in North America. It's approaching 3 in the morning here. I'd play at weird hours.
You're gonna get hurt.
And we are so far behind. Senna's just so bad right now unless you just God mode on her.
I look around me. I see you. I hear the music.
Streamers. We had so much pressure on him too, and we're still losing. Like, how often? I think we've had summoner advantage and ult advantage
You aren't a little
multiple
frightened.
times.
You ain't alive.
Okay, so they're pretty much just giving up bottom, I think. Well, I mean, Sivir can clear by herself.
I can't wait to see what I'm gonna do.
An ally has been slain. Killing spree.
Can't. Make it just kill me.
I'm G to the D. Golden diamonds, boy. Woo!
Okay, he's right there.
I don't need anything.
Oh my god, she got cloth boots. Fuck, I'm gonna burn out. Damn, if I had my potion going, maybe.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Alright, well, I guess at least we got top. If I had my potion ticking, maybe I could have done without it, but...
It don't take a
Maybe
lot
I
of
could have
words to
survived.
tell the truth.
How do you have that?
Your turret has been
Oh, this is just the old cursor. I just didn't update it.
An ally has been slain.
will see me. They will see my dance.
The song between us.
I just don't think I can do anything here. It sucks because they're just constantly getting priority on us, even though we've had tons of opportunities, and that's going to let Fiddle roam. Fiddle's just such a subpar support. I mean, I like Fiddle as a jungler, but you should just be getting absolutely wrecked in lane, and that should have happened. Like, I hit him, and we all end him like 3 times. We just couldn't convert, but this guy's just really unfamiliar with Simmer.
I've been kicked around since I was born. It's all right. It's okay. I'm staying alive. This is the message.
Dragon, I guess that's good.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to scout around. Pretty sure. Magic isn't supposed to be seen.
He just melts that tower. Yeah, so I don't know if you can turn back on the legacy cursor or if once you transfer over you can't go back. I'm not sure how that works. But I just never transferred over to the new cursor. I just don't like it. I'm just so used to seeing this. Oh, deer is up a lot of farm, so that's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to entertain myself. But you too!
Why do you have them OCS? Because you're never fucking doing anything, dude. You just run around turbo farming playing you deer. Yeah, I mean, Skarner's out-ganked a lot.
Okay, Rakan. Get them watching you. Then burn them up.
There's no point. It's like, dude... It's like you're playing, like, arguably the best farmer in the game right now.
I can because I'm free.
Of course you're gonna have good farm, man.
This looks like another dangerous situation.
He's building all of the nerfed items too, but I guess that's... I mean, maybe it's still good enough. We really need to try to get eyes on Fiddlesticks.
Enemy killing spree.
Yeah, there he is. Fuck. It's the second damn time that Ignite got me. I really got to press that potion. I'm almost certain it would have saved me that time if I pressed it. Okay, maybe. Wrecked. God. Malphite doesn't have ult. This is disastrous. They're probably going to get Baron off of this.
The universe loves me.
An ally has been slain.
I guess I should have respected the flash ult from Skarner a bit more. I really didn't think they'd kill me off of that. It's like twice I've died to like last tick of Ignite.
I'm just trying to get some peace.
Alright, we need to try to just like show presence so they don't Baron here, maybe. No, never mind, they're all there. That was pretty brutal. I have 1 assist, man. It's just like nothing going on. I mean, I knew this Senna was going to be a god-awful pick. I thought that the other lanes could carry. Like, this Viego's like 65% Viego. Malphite was like 60-something% Malphite. Yeah, the new patch is live. But we're just not...
Why is it taking so long to get back to the action?
I don't think you want to do a defensive build with Cog. I think you just need to trust your teammate's going to peel. A defensive build on Cog would be like Gale Force.
Damn it, Zion.
So I don't know exactly what you mean by defensive build on him, but... It's an int.
Let's see what's happening now. Down, 1, 2, 3, 10.
Okay, can we kill this guy? Come on, dude. Damage! She does no damage! Holy shit. Wow, dude. Holy shit. That's...
Your turret has been destroyed.
Fun. I need
What?
some fun.
How does she not kill a single person? It's a 4-person Malphite ult into a 4-person My knockup with an Ignite. Against like 3 squishy champions, Yasuo, Sivir, and Fiddlesticks, and not a single person dies. If that's not an indictment of why you should never play Senna in solo queue unless you're like Challenger, one trick, I don't know what is. All right. Well, I think that'll probably be it for tonight. So sorry, that was a lot of coaching sessions there. If that's not your thing, we'll be back in playing a bunch of games tomorrow. Hopefully, we can link up with Jason and get some games in. That'll be fun. I like the coaching session. The coaching session were cool. You get to see some different champs, hear some commentary on different champs, which is nice. But I know some people, definitely like solo queue as well. But we'll go ahead and call it an evening. So thank y'all very much for coming out. As always, I appreciate it. We'll be back here tomorrow, hopefully around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see everyone next time.